There you go. Okay. So I am Jeremy. This is our band of heroes. This is a game of Dungeons and Dragons, but we are going to use the basic rules here tonight. We are all from Instagram. This is how we all met. This is how we all put this game together. So if you haven't followed us on Instagram, you can follow our. I'm going to post here socials. You can follow that link and follow over to Old Men Rolling Dice for where this all began and where other games like this might originate. Who knows? Who knows? We will be playing in a homebrew setting. If you are not familiar with Dungeons and Dragons Basic and Expert, you're probably in for a bit of a treat. The characters are really, really streamlined down, and we are using Roll20 for our mechanics and such. But we won't be using battle maps or things like that. We'll just be using Theater of the Mind. That's not to say we won't have maps, but we're not going to be detailed fights on them. So, without further ado, one of you can step up to the plate and go first. If we're going clockwise here, I think for me, Corvée is first.
Okay. My name is Emily. I have a page on Instagram called Corvée Miniatures. And I think let me just check because
I've got
you should know my name.
I've got the link in the chat. Oh,
great.
I'm magic.
The link is in the chat.
Ooh.
The cat behind me is named Thea, if you can see her. And yeah, I paint miniatures. I make magic items. I just finished a divination deck. I've been writing one-shots.
Did you draw from the divination deck to see how tonight was going to go?
I did. We got a good omen, the Scepter.
Ooh.
And it stands for apportionment, equity, and justice. So I feel like that's good. I feel like we're good to go.
I think that's good. The Scepter. Okay. John, would you like to go next?
Yeah, John Larson here. I like to refer to myself as the tactical DM. Run a small imprint called Old Gator Games on all the socials. I'm Old Gator Games on all the various social platforms. Working through right now an adventure module for the 5e rule set called Blood of the Broodmother. Should be ready sometime in December. That's pretty much all I got going for me.
And I dropped John's link in the chat as well. Let's see here. Alan, you want to go next?
Not at all. I'm Al McLean. I'm just another captain, or just a captain on Instagram. Among other things, I do camping, stuff I do with the military as a reservist, and I paint. Behind me, as you can see, I paint a lot of miniatures and stuff like that. And that's kind of what I do. Just have fun and relax.
I like that. And I am putting the Instagram links up in chat, so please jump over to Instagram and give these people a follow for me. That would be awesome. There go my dogs already tonight. Mark, go ahead.
Hi, yeah, my name is Merrick. I am a D&D and role-playing enthusiast. I run a Etsy store where I 3D print miniatures for tabletop gaming, whether that be for Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, Warhammer, Age of Sigmar. I do kind of like all of that kind of stuff. You can follow my Instagram, nerdshopca. I post lots of cool stuff there. I do paint miniatures, but that's not my primary thing. I do mostly just printing for customers and that sort of thing.
Excellent. And last but not least, Madison.
Hi, I'm Madison. My Instagram handle is Mad Max. It's not actually named after the Mad Max movie, but after Mad Max from Stranger Things, because I'm a huge Stranger Things fan. I'm actually Jiminy Jason's daughter, and I play some D&D on the side, so I didn't just get in on that alone, but I'm interested in playing with everyone, so it's going to be a great night.
Yes, if anybody has ever wondered about my mysterious Pokeroo co-host, Jason.
He is real.
We have proof. We have proof that he's out there. We have his daughter. He has a certain set of skills to get his daughter back. How's that go? I have a certain set of skills. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm just talking ridiculous now. Never mind. Okay.
No, I get it.
Taken.
Liam Neeson is not
Taken.
ridiculous. He's the dude.
Yeah.
He's the dude.
He's
For
the
whatever
dude.
reason, my chat commands for Madison are not working. So give me 1 second because I want you to go over and follow her. Oh, because I was not putting the correct one in. Let's try that again. MADDA. That didn't work either. Come on, Jeremy. Get with the program here. Oh, because it's Mad Ma. At last, a link! Follow it!
Yay!
Okay, so we've linked everybody. Great. Perfect. So we're going to start, just so everybody knows, when we did character creation with everyone, we went hardcore. This is 3d6 in the order they came. We only made one fudge. We had one unplayable character. We won't point fingers, but we boosted their primary stat up enough that they would be playable. The other change that we made for the basic rules is that we let everyone start at maximum hit points for first level, which, believe it or not, was not an actual rule back in the day.
What?
So there could have been 1 hit point characters. Yeah. The biggest difference that you'll notice from 5th edition, if you're familiar with that sort of Dungeons & Dragons, is that when the characters reach 0 here, they die. 0 hit points, they die. We thought we don't want to spend, though, this stream constantly rolling up new characters, so we have house ruled that when they die, there is a d20 roll they will make, and they might come out of it maimed, or in worse shape than maybe they'll wish they died. Who knows? We will see. Again, the world is homebrewed, so we're not going off of any reference of another world. And I think with that, if everybody just give me 1 moment, I will pull up our game and we will begin. So this was sent to all the players, and I'm just going to read it for your benefit as well. So I am Ketris of the Phoenix Order. Aikeon is dying. The archmages known as the Five have slain the sun and the source of all life. Our fiery sun is now nothing more than a small white dot in the sky. Our daylight hours are little more than twilight, and our nights are darker still, as the faces of our moons, Luna, Erebos, and Carabos, reflect even less light. Aikeon's path through the void has changed, and the stars look different. As its course changes, the world has been racked by enormous storms and earthquakes. Coastal kingdoms have disappeared, claimed by the sea that once fed them. Even though our world has dimmed, our new sun burns hotter, and places that once knew 4 seasons now only know 1, and the deserts expand and devour our forests and lakes. Few of the former kingdoms remain, and the 5 archmages who brought about this cataclysm seem to have retreated from the world, leaving it to die without them. On the continent of Glacia, rumor has begun to spread that the elves of Asari have a way off of Aikeon. However, there are few paths that stretch as far north as Asari, and the way is fraught with danger. This also assumes that the elves of Asar would even welcome refugees. The elves of Asari would even welcome refugees. We of the Phoenix Order continue to research ancient prophecies and search for answers. We hope there is a way to save Aikeon. But time is not our ally, and it is unclear that anyone remains with the power to undo what the 5 have done. If we are to rise from the ashes of our star, it will take a miracle. So, the world is dying, and our characters find themselves in a convoy of sorts. A group of people headed north to follow this rumor that the Asarian elves have a way to leave this world behind. So we join this convoy, we join our heroes, we join the NPC mentioned in the read through, Ketris of the Phoenix Order. He's part of this convoy as well, and we join them in the north. They've traveled already a far distance. Some have been traveling with the convoy for months, and others for weeks. And we join them. They've just left the town of Gustwind, and they intend to cross the Northwall Mountains. And no one's really sure what's north of the Northwall Mountains any longer. The Asarian kingdom is there, and the people of Gustwind have told you that there was a human kingdom that resided on the other side of the mountains prior to the cataclysm. However, no convoys have crossed the mountain pass from the north like they did in the times of old. So it's been pretty quiet. So we're just going to take a quick moment again to run through our group, and everybody, for the benefit of your other players, because we haven't had a lot of time to learn about everybody. For the benefit of our other players, you can just describe your character. And once you're done your character, there is an NPC that is tied to your character in one way or another, and we'll have you just sort of go through what that NPC is as well. So let's start with Emily. Emily, tell us about your character who's traveling in the convoy. Can anyone hear Emily? I can't hear Emily.
No,
Emily,
I
think you're
can't
muted.
hear.
There we go. There's a cat in my lap, and I'm a little.
That's okay. We'll be reminding people all night to unmute. That's fine.
That was the cat. Okay. So my character's name is Lumen Videntis, and she is a human from. Let's see if I can remember what I wrote. She's from a small village called Crowfallow, and she's traveling with her sister. She's an eternal optimist, one of those people that's just like really cheery all the time. And her sister is less so. And they're just trying to find a better place to be. Her sister was a kind of a botanist and herbalist, and not much to do when the world is burning up, so they're just trying to find a better life. And I don't know if you want me to say what my class is.
You certainly can. Go for it. And
Okay. I'm a magic user.
yes, a magic user of the old edition. Yeah. Very exciting, very challenging and exciting class. John, go ahead. Who is you? Oh, wait a minute. Emily? What was your sister's name?
Oh, my sister's name is Silva.
Silva. All right.
Lumen and Silva Videntis.
All right. John, let's hear about your character.
I'm an elf, and my name is too complicated and for humans to speak, and sounds grating on my ears, so you can call me Lullaby. The slain sun is an indicator of the longest night, and I'm composing an epic ballad that can rival the depth of sleep, and I'm hoping that this convoy, this pilgrimage to the north will help me speak with my fellow elves to help me with the ending, which I'm having trouble with. And my loyal retainer, I don't really know his name, to be honest. I just call him Echo because every time I tell him to write something down, he just mimics me and he says it and appears to be writing. I never check his work though, so who knows?
I like that. All right. Alan, how about you?
I'll be playing Turner. Turner's from the Ancient Order of Tyr. He's a cleric. This proud order, its purpose was to escort caravans across the lands and help keep both travelers and commerce safe. But in these trying times now, their order has been stretched so few and far between This young novice, who's just basically completed his training, has now found himself the lone guardian to this caravan. He's can barely do his own basic martial skills and is not able to perform any miracles of faith like healing of the sick and dying. But he has his faith, and tear willing, he's going to find some companions along the road that'll help him protect this caravan. On his travels with this caravan, he's befriended an old man named Gerald. Gerald was once a gentleman farmer who had a large estate and even bigger lands. He had a large family, but unfortunately, like everything else in these horrid times, he's lost everything. But what's drawn Turner to him is that for a man that should be who's completely down in his luck and should be completely hopeless, he's just the exact opposite. He's always got a joke or a smile and something positive to say. And of all the people Turner's met, this is the one guy he really wants to see get to the other side.
Excellent.
And that's all I got.
Merrick.
Hi, yes. So my character's name is Hunter, Hunter Curran. I'm pretty much just a simple farmer, generational farmer. So, my father was a farmer, his farmer was a farmer, and so on for generation and generation. My parents both got sick and they passed away a few years ago. And me and my brother Bill, who is traveling with me, kind of ran the show for a little bit. But with the times they are, we kind of settled our losses and wanted a better life for the both of us. We didn't want to end up our parents, born and died on the farm. We wanted to explore the world a little. So we sold the place, and whatever gold we got out of it, we bought ourselves some gear. And then the money remaining we're using to travel to Asari. I'm a fighter. And
what was the brother's name again?
My brother's name was Bill.
Okay.
He's a bit of a mouthpiece, likes to get himself in trouble, and really does not like being called a chicken.
Your brother doesn't like being called a chicken.
Yes, he has a little bit of a temper.
Okay.
Lullaby takes special note of that.
Okay. Madison, who are you playing, and who is your NPC friend in the caravan?
Oh, well, I am playing Bradius Nuffret, but you can just call me Brad. I am a thief, and my origin story is that I grew up in a little small farming town, and I spent a lot of time stealing other people's potatoes. And my character has decided to go because he was sitting at his favorite spot in a tavern and overheard a wise old man telling stories of this mysterious place over a pint of ale. And Brad never second guesses a man with a beard. My NPC is a woman that he met at the bar named Millie. He asked her to come along as an opportunity to get to know her better because she has very long, beautiful red hair, and he would like to have a small army of red-headed children one day.
Fantastic. All right. So that's great, everyone. Outside of the people that you've already mentioned and yourselves, you sort of half know everyone with the caravan. People have familiar faces in that, but not everybody has necessarily spoken their name to you, or you've gotten to know them very well. With the exception of everyone knows that there's sort of a sage, a scribe by the name of Ketris that is traveling with you. Everyone is traveling relatively light, with the exception of like water and food. There's not that many people amongst the convoy are actually armed. They're just essentially like refugees moving north. Everyone has like staves and knives and things like that, but I'm talking like martial weapons. Like there's not a lot of people walking around with swords and warhammers and maces and things like that. There's a lot of pitchforks and hunting spears, and there's probably a number of bows sort of spread through the group as well. Ketris, though, he walks with a staff. He has a large number of scroll cases that sort of hang about him, almost to the point that they clutter him. And he's not very old to be, looked at as a sage or a scribe. He's maybe at the most he's late 20s. He has a very well kept beard that hangs down almost to the bottom of his chest, and he's genuinely moved about the convoy. Like, he has a real thirst to learn about people and where they're from and what they've seen, and it always comes back to the world. Like, what's going on in their part of the world, what's happening in their part of the world. And he wears a medallion of a phoenix, and you know that he belongs to this order of the phoenix, which is sort of a mysterious order. Maybe you've heard of them. I'll leave that up to you, whether you have or haven't. They're not, they don't have negative connotations. They're generally thought to be sort of scholars, wizards, and but they do preach the idea that all things are reborn. That there is really not ever an ending to something. That things are cyclical, and like a ring, right? So you're always, your ending is just another beginning. It just keeps rolling and rolling. However, that being said, the number of little conversations you've had with Ketris, he is desperately concerned for the world of Aikeon, and he's not sure that what the five have done can be undone. And he's hoping, just like the rest of you, that the elves in Asari have some sort of answer for the people of Aikeon. So you begin to travel up the mountain pass, Gustwind Pass. The mountains here are dry, and the pine trees that grow on their slopes here have withered and died. Lack of water, too much heat, you're not sure. But there is this sense that there once might have been a forest on the mountain slopes of the Northwall Mountains, and it's all dead. And the party climbs up into the mountain, and a number of times you can tell that this journey is starting to collect its tax from the people here. People stumble. People appear to, people are dipping into their water supply pretty regularly. The understanding is that there are rivers on the other side of the Northwall Mountains, so people are not rationing their water very well. And younger members of the convoy, are being carried by parents, by aunts, by uncles who are here, and as they begin to move up into the pass, Ketris begins to make his rounds down through the convoy. He's by no means a leader, but he almost acts like a shepherd for this convoy, constantly checking on people. And as he moves back through the convoy, he motions for let's see here. He motions for Turner and for Hunter to sort of sidebar with him. He steps sort of away as the convoy's winding up into the pass. He stands over by a large rock and motions to the two of you to come over.
I approach.
And so do I.
Yep.
I definitely go up.
All right. So the two of you make your way over, and he looks at people passing, and sort of you see him give a friendly wave as looks of concern as to why he stopped, and he says to you, "Gentlemen, the pass ahead. I spoke to the town guard in Gustwind. Although the human kingdom on the far side is an ally to the town of Gustwind, they did warn that the pass is commonly watched by orc raiding parties. I've done my best not to alert the masses. I see Hunter carries a blade, and I know Turner that you follow Tyr. There are not many there are not many amongst the convoy of martial status. I would ask that maybe one of you take a look as the lead of the convoy as we move through the pass, and maybe another to the rear of the convoy. Perhaps with your training and weapons, you'll be able to assist better in those positions. I know I'm not a leader. I know that I have no rule over you, but I thought best that I bring this to the two of you.
Thank you. Well, you were actually kind of the leader. It would be best that we got everyone kind of together as a pack, so there's no stragglers. And I don't mind going to the front. You, kind sir, would you take the rear?
Yes, I'll be happy to take the rear.
At that, as you say that, there's a yell from the convoy. It's Bill. What's the secret over there, Hunter? You keeping secrets now? We should all know what's going on if there's something happening with that crazy book reading guy.
Nothing's going on, Bill. All right, just settle down. I'll come over there in a second.
Maybe I should be involved. I'm just as strong as you are.
I know, Bill. I know. Don't worry, buddy. Settle down.
Settle down.
I'll tell you in a minute.
You managed to stave off his interest. Is Echo an elf, John?
Yeah, I was thinking he would be.
Yeah. Okay.
He's not a very good elf, though.
So he sort of elbows Lullaby in the ribs a bit and says, "What do you think's going on over there?" And he points to three men sort of gathered off the the caravan's winding its way up into the pass, and you can see Ketris and two other men. And Echo's like, "What do you think? What do you think's going on over there?"
I kind of, not really brush him aside, but he only has one job, and that's to copy down what I say. So, Echo, if you want to know what's going on, then go over there and find out yourself. Stop bothering me. I'm trying to compose.
Oh, I'm sorry to have interrupted the creative process. I couldn't possibly go over there. I couldn't possibly go over there and interject.
Fine, let's both go over, and you just write down whatever they say, because I'm probably not going to pay attention.
With that, he fumbles and struggles for his quill and paper, and the two of you walk over. Ketris sees the two elves approaching, and he says, it appears we've gathered the interest of our finer folk. Lullaby, Echo, please, if you haven't met them already, this is Turner and Hunter, and we were just discussing a few possible dangers in the pass ahead. Trying not to alert everyone, trying not to startle everyone, and Echo is like trying to write with quill and paper as best he can.
It's just as as he's doodling, probably, than really writing down.
Okay, fair enough.
I never check his works.
He says, do you know anything of the elves of Asari that might help us as we travel over these peaks?
No, they're not my tribe, but I do, have a certain affinity with all elves, as us ancient race often do. But even if I did, kind of a secretive folk, I think.
Fair. I'm not sure how the rumors have spread south about this saving passage they've found, but fair enough. And Echo sort of nudges you, like he wants you to ask more.
So I do have a couple of questions, for my ballad that I'm writing. And
as you do that, he starts to nod. He's like, yes.
You seem to be a learned man, of course. What rumors have you heard? I just want to see if they confirm what I've heard.
He says only that they have a saving way off of Aikeon, and he sort of looks down at you, trying to assess your curiosity. He does say that he's heard that the whatever it is in their capital, Pearlgate.
Hmm. Echo, check my notes and see if I've mentioned Pearlgate to you before.
Of course, master. And he then begins to roll up that and put his quill away and begin to search. He sort of pulls his backpack onto the front of him and starts digging through it. Ketris says, "Very well, gentlemen. That was really all. Yes. Thank you for your assistance."
Actually, Master Elf, I could probably use your assistance. We were actually just discussing that we believe the caravan might be in danger. There's apparently orc raiding parties in the area. I think maybe you could help bring the caravan together. I'm going to go to the front, and this gentleman's going to go to the rear just to kind of add some protection. If we get all the stragglers together, a large group with no stragglers stands a better chance than a spread out group with stragglers, especially with these children.
No, that totally makes sense, and this is an important part of my epic. So yes, I'll assist in trying to keep the caravan together.
May the blessings of Tyr be on you. Thank you.
Yep, I snap at Echo and tell him to get cracking.
Of course, master.
I walk over to Bill and give him the quick spiel and tell him to join me out in the back of the caravan.
I'm going to start heading to the front, and
Okay.
I'm looking for anyone that's got just anything that looks like they might be able to fight.
All right. So as you do that, as you tell Bill's like, well, why is that guy going to the front? Maybe you and I should be at the front. I mean, we're clearly bigger than that guy, aren't we?
That's why we need to be at the back. They take the weak first, so we have to protect those guys at being in the back since we're the strongest.
Hunter, when you're talking to guys like that Ketris guy, that book guy, whatever that guy's all about, you got to take a line with him. You got to draw a line and be like, "That's my line, bitch. You don't cross it. That's as far as you're going."
I understand, Bill. I'll do better. I'll do that next time. All right?
Okay. I really think we should be at the front. And he just grumbles all the way to the back of the caravan. As the two of you move to the back, and Bill is grumbling in that, Silva says to Lumen, those two brothers that they kind of frighten me.
Yeah, I'm not sure they get along very well, but it's hard to say. I mean, maybe they just care about what happens to each other and they want to see, what the best outcome is.
That one named Bill doesn't care about anything but himself.
You don't know that. You never even talked to them.
I know that.
This whole time
I know that.
tracking.
I know that. I have a good feel for people. You know that.
You have a good feel for plants, and I think that is great about you. And when we get to this new place, you're going to be able to grow so many things, and that is fantastic.
Well, that Bill is a weed, and he needs to be pulled, I think.
Oh boy. Okay. Well,
Don't misunderstand me when I say that. But and what do you presume they were all talking by that rock over there?
Oh, I don't know. Probably maybe they're talking about when to, pass out the food next, or maybe we're just getting like a rotating guard going.
Well, I'll tell you, if they use that Bill to pass out the food, we'll all be going hungry. He'll keep it for himself.
I mean, I think we'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it.
You're far too optimistic.
Well, you're far too pessimistic.
With that, she mumbles and mimics you, and you continue to climb. You do notice, though, as you're talking to her, Silva's come down with a bit of a limp. You can see that she's definitely favoring a foot.
Hey, what's up with your foot? What's going on there?
It's fine.
You okay?
It's fine.
I mean, we've been traveling a lot. If you need to rest or something, we could maybe kind of drop to the back of the group, and maybe just take it a little slower.
Drop to the back of the group. Did you see who just went to the back of the group? I don't want to go back there with him.
They could protect us. They're much stronger than us.
Oh, they could protect us. Please. I don't.
I mean,
I
that's
don't.
fair.
My foot is fine. If you see any mountain wreath, which you know to be it's sort of a weed herb, very small shrub. She goes, if you see any mountain wreath, get that. Maybe I can soak my foot in it tonight.
All right.
You don't have to worry about my foot though. Yeah, I'm fine.
I'll keep an eye out and just, remind me what it looks like. We'll, just go over it again so I know for sure I'm finding the right thing.
Okay. So with that, as our priest of Tyr moves to the front of the column, a number of people mention, blessings to Tyr as you pass and things like that. At which point, Millie sort of throws her arm around Brad and says, "That man there wears armor, shield, carries a weapon at his side. Look at everybody respect him. How come you're not like that, Brad?"
Babe, look. You see this mirror? And I kind of flash it in her eyes, kind of causing her to kind of blink away.
Okay.
You see this? I'm the most important person in this team. This is for going around corners. They don't see it from far away. I see it reflected back at me. Without me, babe, whole thing would fall apart. I don't need all that weapons dragging me down. I don't need you dragging me down. Okay?
Dragging me down? You dragged me along on this.
Well, I just wanted to get to know you better. World's possibly ending. You heard that guy at the bar. And
Yeah,
you know what?
Yeah.
You got really beautiful hair, babe.
I
Really
know.
dig it.
I know.
really
I
like
know.
a small
I know.
army.
Listen
of
to me.
children with
Listen
fire
to me.
hair.
She stops and holds your cheeks. All in good time. You promised me we were going somewhere that was like an Eden that saved the world, right? You don't forget
Right.
that. You don't forget that. You stay
forget
focused.
nothing.
And we're in the
Mhm.
mountains.
Focus.
We're in the mountains. There are no corners.
Well, you don't know that, right? There's lumps and ridges. That could be a corner.
Someone
Just saying.
Someone bumps into Millie and they're like, "Move along, move along." And she's like, "Don't you tell me what to do." And
You need to take care of that bike.
she says to you, you just remember what you promised me. All this, and she motions to her hair. All this, yours.
I like that.
When we get
Good stuff.
to where we're going. Do you understand me?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I understand.
Until then, the cage is shut. Do you understand me?
Yeah, I understand.
You get me to where we're going? All this. She even grabs your mirror and sort of holds it so you can see the two of you in it, almost like you're taking a selfie together. All this is yours, Brad. But I need to get over these mountains.
We'll have to figure out a way to get over these mountains.
She's like, maybe you need to be more like that guy. And she points to the priest of Tyr as he makes his way to the front of the column.
Do you see this hair? My hair, your hair? We're a good looking duo. That guy up there, I can see him balding in the sunlight. It's actually blinding my eyes. I think we're going to be okay. Just trust the mirror, trust the corners. We're going to get there.
You start to walk again. She's like, I'm going to give you that. I'm not saying he's the best looking man. You're clearly a better looking man. But you have to provide. You have to make this happen for me.
I can try to do that.
You can do it.
Babe, I can try.
Do it. You can do it.
Maybe. Strong maybe.
So as the convoy moves up the pass, Ketris makes his way to the front and says to he makes his way up to Turner, and Ketris says, Turner, it's unlikely we'll clear these mountains in a day. We'll probably have to find a place to camp in the pass tonight.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I'll try to lead us to some kind of defensible position. I'll be sure to circle the wagons there, especially if there's orcs in the area.
He
Because
said,
there, I suspect we'll try to make camp sooner than later. Because I know that orcs like to attack at night.
yeah. He says also remember that the orcish eye is not bothered by our new sun. So you know, being from the Temple of Tyr, that orcs don't like coming out in the daylight. The bright light bothers them. They don't see as well. But with Aikeon's new sun, with this small white ball in the sky, the days are much dimmer, and they're not creatures like orcs and goblins, kobolds that are normally bothered by the light. This is not the case any longer. Okay.
Right.
Ketris also says to you, I've noticed there's a number of people feeling the effects of walking every day. It would be good if one of these human cities or towns on the other side of Northwall could offer us some respite, a place to rest. Gustwind was almost out of supplies when we reached them. I dare not ask them for more than they had.
I pray that there be like a chapter of the order there, and perhaps they can help us. But I don't know. My orders are strictly to get this caravan across.
I understand.
I have no idea what's on the other side, but hopefully, with Tyr as our guide, there'll be something there for us. Something better than being in this mountain.
Between you and I happen to know that the elves of Asari are a little xenophobic. We will have to make sure that we'll have to make sure that we use lullaby and echo to our advantage, and that the elves see us as friends as opposed to invaders.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not there to change their beliefs. I'm just here to get these people to safety. That's my mission. That's the mission of the order.
So the day goes on, and the party moves up into the mountains. The walking is it's tiring. People are, of course, this isn't gonna. This token is not gonna sit where I need it to sit. Hold on one second. I thought if you hit, there we go. Okay, so as you move up into the mountains, finally, there's a place where it appears it's safe to rest. There's a number of rock outcroppings, and people start to move to sit people down to to make camp, get some rations warmed up, and such. As this is going on, it's important to note there are no horses in the convoy. Livestock and all the food and water that they would require, just not a necessity here. And the people that know one another sort of group together in small clusters around tiny fires. And Ketris finds a place to sit down, and some of the younger people of the caravan sort of flock over to him as he's known to tell a story or two. He looks to Lullaby and says, "Perhaps Lullaby would sing for us this evening."
Well, I would be pleased to. I've actually been working on a composition, and it's weirdly translated from Elven to the common tongue. But if you'd like, I can sing a few bars.
Of course. Gather round, and not everyone is there, but there's a small group of people. I'm going to say that Millie moves over to listen.
What's the name of? I'm sorry, I forgot the name of this world. Acheus.
Aikeon. Aikeon. Yeah, Aikeon. Like ache in my bones. Eon.
Yep.
Yeah. So a number of people gather about to listen, and just before you start, Ketris is like, just remember, things echo up here, not too loud.
Oh, well, I was just about to sing the Aikeon yodeling song. Are you sure? I can probably keep it really quiet.
Yeah, just tone it down a smidge.
Okay. Want me to sing it? I got it.
He moves away and gives you the opportunity to perform.
Okay. I'm really gonna sing it.
Are you really going to
Oh,
sing
an
it?
Aikeon. Yeah. Oh, an
You have to.
Aikeon went
You have to
yodeling on a mountain so high. When along came a cuckoo bird interrupting his cry. Oli-ya, oli-rakakia, oli-ra-coo-coo-coo-coo. That's all I got for that. Everything else is really loud, so I suspect echoes like shh.
Yeah, there's a few people looking around a little nervously, but your why don't you give me a D20? Do you have a charisma bonus?
No.
Let's do our first roll of the game.
I'm the opposite of a charisma bonus guy.
Let's roll then just a straight D20, and we'll just leave it to luck whether the people like you or not.
Sounds good to me. The next verse has a dairy cow, so I could really go to town. I got a 4.
Yeah, maybe not as well a reception as you'd hope for, but Echo.
Told you it didn't translate well.
Echo's like, oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. The melody. Oh, the timbre in your voice.
It was terrible. I must get back to composing immediately.
Echo looks totally defeated. Totally defeated. Applause. Yeah. Thunderous applause. So, with that, Bill says to Hunter, have you seen that girl?
Which one, Bill?
Which one? And he points through, and he points at Silva.
Figured. That's your type.
She's not my type. On top of that, anytime around, all she does is complain about me. She says I'm loud, boisterous. She called me a bully.
Well, you can't be a little loud, so on occasion. I won't go as far as being a bully, but you can be a little loud.
I'm quiet. I can't help it if I need to make sure that you and I are getting our appropriate responsibilities here. But loud? Bully? I mean, who does she think she is?
He doesn't know you, Bill. I would just leave it be. You know, we're all traveling together. We all want to get to the same place. We all want to get along. It'll be easier that way.
I do not think she wants to get along.
If we just start causing a fuss, it'll just be more of a headache for us. I don't want any trouble.
Well, she can't just talk like that to me.
Do you want to say something?
I think I need to say something.
I would.
What do you say to someone like that? Hey.
I don't even know.
Hey.
Hey, you.
Hey.
I don't know.
I'm no bully. You should talk to my brother about it. How's that sound?
See that, Bill, just outside looking in, that just comes off as, being a bully. That's very confrontational. That's just my 2 cents.
What if I said, like, hey, you have nice hair? A bully wouldn't say that.
No, that's perfect. You should definitely go up to her right now and just say that, and then walk away.
I don't know. I think I'd be setting myself up for failure, Hunter. We didn't have girls like
go up.
There were not girls like that at the farm.
There weren't anyone at the farm.
Bessie never spoke back.
She mooed a few times. You could tell.
Yeah.
That's my next verse. Don't spoil it.
He says, he looks up. He goes, "You think it's going to be a storm tonight?"
Take a look around. Does it look like it's going to be a storm tonight?
Give me roll a wisdom. Just roll your wisdom for me. There should be.
That's the little dice next to the wisdom.
That's right.
Modifier.
That's right.
Wisdom check.
Yeah.
Okay. Not very wise, but
That's okay. That's okay. We like them not wise. Needed an 8 or less, and you rolled an 8. Well done. So when we do when we do any kind of a check, we're trying to get under our total number in that stat, as opposed to in 5th edition where you would add. So
okay.
You're not even sure. Like, you don't even know why to ask. Like, there's not a cloud in the sky. Nothing.
I don't think it's going to storm tonight, Bill.
I'm not sure. I feel like it's gonna storm. I feel like it is. Maybe I should go. Maybe I should go tell her about her hair.
I think you should definitely compliment her hair. Don't say anything else. You know, women like a little mystery. Just compliment her hair and walk away.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I am. Don't stop me, Hunter.
I'm not gonna stop you. As he kind of walks away, I give him like a nice tap on the back.
Yeah, he's not walking away. He's just like, don't stop me.
Oh, he's just standing there?
Yeah, I'll do it.
It's all you, man. You got this, Bill.
I'm Bill. I'm not a bully. I'm not a bully.
No. The anti-bully.
I'm an anti-bully. I'm not a bully. At that point, he just takes a beeline, walks right for her. There's a man sort of lounging on the ground. He doesn't even go around. He steps right over that man as if he's not even there. He just straight up. Silva and it's Lumen, right? Silva and Lumen. Yes. There was none of what your sister was looking for. The mountain wreath. No. She has taken her one boot off, and she has a rather nasty blister that has formed and popped, and she has a nasty wound right on sort of an awkward part of her foot. So she has her boot off, she has her sock off, and she's sort of just letting it air. She's put a bit of some powder on it to try to dry out her foot. And the two of you are just kind of having a quiet moment. You just heard sort of over a little bit, Lullaby the Elf has just finished a yodel, which did not really land well from what you can hear of it.
Jeremy, I'm sorry, with what you said about rolling under, I did roll a 4. That's well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I forgot about the roll.
My error. We're going to rewind it. We're going to rewind it. We're going to say it went over genuinely well.
Yep.
So there was a good performance. So maybe Silva has just sort of mentioned that it's nice to have elves along for this to keep people's spirits up. When suddenly, like, Bill is just like standing over the two of you, awkwardly close.
He's a bit of a heavy breather.
Oh.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm not a bully.
Okay.
At which point he sort of face palms and looks down. He goes, "Oh, your foot! What's wrong with your foot? What? Hair? Oh, you have hair, foot." And Silva's like, "I have foot hair?" He's like, "No, that's not where. No, I'm not a bully." And he just turns and walks away.
I facepalm like, "Oh, Bill."
Nice to talk to you.
Silva's like, "Do you see? He's a jackass."
Can I tell that maybe he was trying?
You're not really sure what he was trying to accomplish.
No.
I don't even know what he's trying to accomplish there.
I mean, it's maybe not a long stretch that he was trying to make some sort of a connection with Silva and failed horribly at it.
I mean, I don't know, maybe he likes you.
Everything like just stops, and you have a death glare from your sister.
Or maybe he's just awkward. You know,
He's
that
an
happens.
asshole. We've established this. He talked about my foot hair.
Maybe he was just startled because he didn't realize you were injured. You know, I'm gonna tear up this extra shirt, and we're gonna make a nice little cushion for your foot, so that it doesn't rub as much.
Fine, fine. And we're not going to talk about Bill the rest of the night.
Sure, because I can't find any mountain wreath. I'm sorry.
Do you have a spell that will get rid of him?
I have a spell that will blind him.
Do it. Do it right now.
No, I can only use it once. What if something happens? We might need this for other stuff. I mean, we're in a
Give me one of your daggers.
Fine. You can have one for each hand. Well, but you probably need to hold onto something. Just take one, okay? Here's one. Here's a dagger.
She takes one, and she looks in his direction and points it.
No, don't do that.
Bill does not even. Bill has gone back to wherever his bedroll is. He's dropped on. You can see that he's dropped on the ground. His face is in both hands. His brother is looking at him just, you poor bastard.
Look, he's embarrassed. I think
When he gets embarrassed, he kind of just stiff body, just lays face first in his cushions. Just defeated.
Poor guy. I don't think he meant to say what he said. I think he meant to say something else. He's definitely having a rough time over there. Just keep the dagger for protection in case something happens, and we'll wrap your foot. Okay.
Okay. You start to wrap her foot. Brad, you and Millie have found a more secluded part of the camp, away a little bit more away from the mass, but she's been over listening to these elves sing. And she comes back and she's like, "Did you hear that?"
I don't know. I don't think that guy could carry a tune if the old gods put it in a basket for him to carry, babes. It was okay.
His voice was angelic.
I mean, I stepped on a turkey once and it made the same noise.
You stepped on a turkey once and it made the same noise.
Don't want to talk about it.
She shakes her head at you. She looks up into. She then looks up into the sky. She goes, "I miss the stars from home. Ever since."
Did you say something, babe?
Would you listen to me for a moment? The sky. Didn't you ever stargaze?
I mean, had better things to do, like sleep, dream about how I'm going to win this Aikeon thing.
This Aikeon thing? I don't think it's a.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a competition, Brad.
But if it was, I mean, I'd probably win, right?
If we have children, I am sure they will be very attractive, but I have some concerns.
I want to name the first one Massius. Something big. Eus, sounds godly. What do you think?
I think I've made a mistake.
Nah, babe, we're gonna win this Aikeon thing, just you wait.
She says, look up. Do you see that bright star there?
See a lot of bright stars there.
I think that's the eagle's eye. There used to
Kind
be...
of looks more like a walrus to me, but yeah.
Honest to God. Did you... My dad used to point out a set of stars in the sky. They were a constellation known as the Great Eagle. And the eye always sort of... sailors use it to navigate. but everything's changed up there.
I mean, like, one time my grandfather was trying to, like, navigate, and he got lost on this boat and went around for hours and hours. Never really saw him again, so, like, how good can those be? He looked up, didn't even come home. I don't know what you're trying to say, babe.
She sits cross-legged with her back against a rock and says, "Come and put your head down in my lap and just be quiet."
I'll try.
Okay.
Kind
As
of
you-
lay down,
Yeah, as you lay down,
plunk my head back.
she like pats your head, almost like patting a pet, and she says, "I wish I could see that eagle again. I wish I could see that eagle again."
I mean, like, hundreds of eagles in the world. See an eagle anytime you want, but I guess that one's something special when you think about it. Maybe if you squint your eyes really hard and look up, you'll see it again. You ever
Wouldn't-
try that?
Wouldn't you like to see your granddad again?
I mean, like, sometimes he'd come in and kick the dog around, wasn't always the nicest guy, but he did make really good beef stew, so
But
You
if he
kinda
came
miss
home from
that.
sailing, wouldn't you like to see him again?
yeah, I think he had some money that I could have eventually. I'd have my own farm. Wouldn't have to steal so many potatoes, you know? Just plant all my own.
You understand there's not going to be any more farms here, right? Like the world is dying.
There has to be sky farms, right? This Aikeon thing seems like a sky thing. Sky potatoes, sky farm.
Sky farms.
There's going to be farms because I'm going to buy them. I'm going to make them. I'm going to win. I'm going to win this thing.
She laughs out loud at that, maybe louder than she should have. Everybody sort of hears a giggle from over yonder, and she says, "Yeah, sky farms."
Sky farms.
I'm just rubbing Bill's back at the back of the
Yes.
booth over there. It's all right, buddy.
I apologize for the coughs. I'm getting over cold. Okay, so everyone falls asleep that night. Turner, you're on watch over the masses at some point in that evening, and up in the sky, you start to see what you think is some sort of meteor shower. There's a bunch of color, streaks of light. As Aikeon has changed its orbit around its sun, you've seen stuff like this happen before, but this seems really close. You're not sure it's because you're up in the mountains, but there's a few other people around the camp that you can hear that are sort of taken in by the awe of it as this meteor shower sort of streaks across the sky above you. But one of those points of light catches your eye, and at first it's just a little flash of light in the sky, and it sort of just it just looks like the rest of everything else that's going on up there. But then it doesn't go away like the rest of them. It starts getting brighter.
Like enough that I would start to like think of the stars falling here.
Yeah.
Where's my companion Gerald?
Oh, I forgot all about Gerald. I apologize.
That's okay. Because I'm looking for him right now. He's an old man.
We will get to Gerald for sure. Okay, so you find Gerald. He's curled up asleep, not far from you, actually.
I just gently wake him and go, Gerald, I want you to look at something.
Mm.
What am I seeing? And I point to the star. Should we be worried? Have you ever seen anything like this before?
So Gerald wakes up and looks at it, and it's coming down. He goes, "Oh," and now it looks like a comet. Like you have the sort of the head of the comet and a tail, and it's falling, and it looks like it's falling to the north of the mountains.
Okay. Gerald, I want you to go towards the center of the camp tonight. I'm going to go find that elf. I'm going to go look for Lullaby.
Okay.
And I'm going to go find the Is it Karish? Is that how his name? What's the sorcerer's name again? Karish?
The source, what?
Trust.
How's it pronounced again for the sorcerer that's been kind of
Yeah,
The
let me
sage.
The sage. Let me.
Sage, yeah.
Ketris, yes.
Ketris, that's it. I'm gonna go try and find him too.
Okay.
See what they think, and this.
I'm gonna say that you reach Lullaby first.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab him and say, "Lullaby," and I point to the thing. What are we looking at? Have you ever seen anything like that? It seems it's getting brighter and brighter, and it's like it's coming in this direction.
I wake up kind of out of a deep sleep, and I yell, "Echo, wake up and attend to my greatness!" And I'm like, "Oh wait, what did you say?"
Keep it down, but look
Okay,
up.
sorry.
I point to the star, right to the corner. What? This is getting brighter and brighter, and it's coming in our direction. Have you ever, in your travels, seen anything like that?
So I will. I'll add to this description a little bit at this point. As the two of you look, it still looks like it's going to make. It still looks like it's coming down in the north. You're not sure how far. Maybe a couple days travel. It burns with sort of a yellowy orange warmth, and the tail, as it trails off, goes through all kinds of different yellow, oranges, and even purple out towards the end. And it's like a very tiny, like it's giving off enough light that even your camp is starting, like, you can see around the camp a little better. And no doubt, people for miles around are seeing this thing fall.
I don't think I've ever come across anything like that. I spend most of my time in the south. Maybe this is a common occurrence in the north.
I have never seen anything like this, and I'm starting to get concerned.
As you say that, Turner, as you say you're starting to get concerned, this thing changes trajectory. It's
Change direction.
Like it's falling, and you're like, that's going to land, well to the north of us. And now it's changing, and you start to lose sight of the tail because you think it's coming, like, right at you. Like, the tail is now behind it, and you're just seeing the head of light. And it's getting larger and larger by the second.
All right, that's it. I get my shield out. I start banging my hammer on. I go, everyone, get up, get up.
Okay.
So I start to point to it. We got to move, and we got to move now. And everyone, we move as a group. Get everyone together. Everybody on me now. We are rolling.
So the group wakes up to hear. Everyone wakes up. The NPCs, the caravan, they all sort of rise. As you wake, the encampment is like as bright as the daylight under the new sun, and the moons are still up in the sky. You can see them. And there is the slightest tremor in the ground. The stones around you are just shaking a bit, and you're starting to hear this. It sounds like a tearing, a ripping, a rolling, like thunder, but before the thunder reaches, before you actually hear it, just sort of this rumble is occurring, and it's getting brighter and brighter. And Ketris, everybody sort of gets up and begins to sort of, like, some of them start running back down the pass. Some people start, like, literally digging at the ground to try to get under a rock or something. And the light just is becoming greater and greater, and this ball is getting bigger and bigger as it approaches the encampment. What would the five of you like to do? You feel like you don't have time to run away. Like, impact is imminent.
My intent right now is to get everyone to move in a northern direction up the trail from where we're going.
Okay.
Like the direction that we're going. Because I start pointing, everybody move, start heading up the trail, head north the direction we're going. Let's go now. Grab everybody, let's go. Move.
Okay, and what's Lullaby doing?
I grab Echo, I drag him to the ground, and I pull him on top of me.
Okay, all right. What is Hunter doing?
wake Bill up quickly. He's probably awake though.
Yeah, he is
from
awake.
all the commotion, definitely. We start heading up the path, but I'm trying to look around to see if there's any kind of crevices I can duck under, a rock maybe behind. So if whatever this thing
Yes.
is, if it makes an
Yes,
impact,
you see
I
that.
can try to hide behind
you
a rock.
You totally see a crevice that you and Bill could probably get into.
Definitely hide in there just in case this thing does impact. I can kind of be behind a tremor.
Okay, so the two of you duck into that. Lumen, what is Lumen doing?
I'm going to grab Silva, and we're just going to kind of run north, but like hug the wall of whatever hills, mountains that we're in, any kind of vertical surface. Try and like squeeze up against it and hope it works out okay.
Okay, and last, Madison, what is Brad doing?
I have my little steel mirror out and I'm trying to reflect it towards the light as I'm looking at Millie going, why did you call this big eagle down? This is horrible.
Okay, I'm going to say that Millie sees you like sort of standing there and you're just sort of silhouetted in this massive light and the sunbeams are just pouring through. Like you become like anyone that's standing out in the open becomes like a pillar of with a long shadow stretching out past them. She quickly grabs you, and that rock that you guys had been kind of laying up against, she pulls you behind that and sort of does her best to get you to get down. With that, something impacts the mountain. It doesn't impact the camp directly, but your ears ache at this sound of this thunderous crash. You've been through earthquakes. Aikeon has had numerous earthquakes. This is beyond anything you've experienced. The ground shakes, the earth cracks open. You can hear people yelling. John, Lullaby feels an intense heat rip across, and you hear Echo like cry out as you hold him on top of you. Not in a good way. He is definitely experiences some pain. But then all of a sudden, like it gets very light, and he's gone, and like you're covered in sort of this luminescent ash. Alan, a shockwave hits Turner, and you fly through the air, and you feel yourself tumble twice and into some sort of dark space where that light is not hitting you directly, but you felt heat. For sure, you felt heat. Merrick, you and Bill and Hunter get down in this crack, and one of the older men, you see him sort of hobbling to get into the crevice with you. And Bill's like, I'm not a bully! And he like reaches out his hand, and with that, the light just shines across this man, and you literally see him and Bill's right hand just turn to ash. And Bill falls back into the crevice in pain. Emily, Lumen and her sister Silva, when the shockwave hits, you feel Silva get knocked away from you, and in the blinding light, you lose sight of where she goes. You manage to get, though, into like one of these crevices along that wall that you're moving down, and you feel the heat, and you hear the cries of people in the convoy. And last, Madison, Bradius and Millie sort of duck down into this crevice. They're not right in the camp center, so they hear distant cries and rumbles, and then everything just kind of goes quiet, but not dark. There is a glowing radiance coming from somewhere, and there is ash and smoke and dust creating sort of like a blanket-like fog over where the party was. And all you can see is sort of these blinding beams of light radiating through this smoke and ash and soot. and it's difficult to know directions. It's difficult to know even your bearings, or you you don't hear anyone else. Everything is just sort of a deathly quiet. What would you like to do?
Did the blinding light go away?
No, this cloud of ash and dust that has been kicked up is sort of backlit. So you can see sort of the outlines of the mountains around you, but this light is still glowing. But it's diffusing through this cloud, and you're not sure its origin.
I quickly take a look at Bill's arm. Is it like burnt? No
so
blood?
You come over and look at him. He has passed out. His hand is missing, and where the wound was, it has been burnt and cauterized. Like, there's not a lot of blood, but there are definitely burns down his forearm to his elbow.
Okay. I probably rip off a piece of my shirt or something and cover up the wound.
Okay.
And then I take my I have a stick. I take a stick and kind of like lift it up into the light and see what happens to the stick. I'm still underneath like the crevice, and it kind of just like.
So you lift it up into the dust and everything, and you're looking at it. It doesn't catch flame or anything like that. You just lift it up, and it stands there for a moment.
Okay, then I'll put it back and just kind of like peek over and try to take a look around and see if I can see anybody.
Yeah, your visibility is very short because of the dust and everything, and the fact that it's illuminated dust. It's almost like having high beams. Hopefully you understand this reference. Having your high beams on in the winter when there's a lot of snow coming down, you can't see anything. So
some jerk behind you is with a big pickup truck that's lifted.
Exactly.
I get it.
So and the light just seems to come in all directions. Lullaby, what are you doing?
Like a true narcissist, I lament immediately the fact that now I have to keep track of my own story. But more than that, this is probably pretty shocking for him. Elves, they believe that life is precious, right? So the fact that an elf has died because I pulled him on top of me and I didn't even know his name. I think that Lullaby is just standing there in shock.
Okay. All right. How about let's jump to Brad. What's Brad doing?
I'm standing down in the area where I fell with Millie, and I'm kind of like feeling around my multiple pockets, being like, oh, I think I stole like half-burnt candlestick or something somewhere that we could light. See something? Can you like help me look?
With that,
you
look at as you start like looking over yourself, you realize that you're covered in sort of ash and dust. You look at Millie; her beautiful red hair is gray, and she's blinking at you through these eyes with a face that's just covered in ash and dust. She immediately throws herself into your arms and says, "I think they're all dead. I think it's just you and me."
I'm like kind of coughing on like the ash that's coming out of her hair, like I mean, like, they might be. You don't look super great, babe. You okay?
I don't look super great? I don't look super great? You don't exactly look fantastic yourself. We're lucky to be alive, Brad. We're lucky to be alive.
I know. Can you just help me find the candlestick?
Would you pull your head out of that cavernous ass of yours for a moment? Everyone died. It's you and me on this mountain alone.
Oh, awesome. I think I have some matches down here, too.
Are they screaming that audibly? Can I hear them say that?
Yes, we'll come back to that. You are going to hear that. Absolutely. Let's go to Lumen and Millie. So, Lumen, Millie, you were holding Millie's hand, and then that shockwave hit you, and you've lost her. You don't know where she is. And as I said, everything right now is quiet, but sort of lit in this weird gray, ashy fog.
If I move out of the crevice that I'm in and closer to the light, does it feel hot? Like,
Yeah, you take a few steps out, and it doesn't feel hot. And give me an intelligence check.
oh, okay.
So if you go to your character sheet, there should be a little d20 beside intelligence.
Yeah. And then for the bonus, do I put in the...
It should do it automatically if you roll the little
Oh.
20-sided beside your intelligence.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
You think the light is coming... There was a mountain peak that was hanging over the camp.
Okay.
You think it's the mountain peak that's glowing. Whatever that was, maybe hit that.
Okay. I'm going to go out and look for Silva.
Okay.
See if I can find her.
So you start walking about the ground. The ground has changed. Like it was smooth when you were running in this area before, or relatively smooth with gravel, and now like large pieces of rock have been turned up, and you know the earth shook, and stones have fallen, and yeah, it's a much different landscape than you're in prior to the impact. But you start looking around for her. Captain, what is Turner doing?
Right, Turner's going to get up, shield up, hammer out. He's fighting the urge. He wants to go see what this thing is, but his primary concern is all the people. So he's going to start calling out to the various families.
So you've fallen down into a very small, shallow cave.
Oh, I'm in a small cave. Okay, I'm going to get up and try to...
You can see the opening, and there is just light and dust sort of swirling around in that opening.
Yeah, shield up, hammer out. I'm heading cautiously towards the entrance of the cave, and like doing a quick double check left and right because I know that we're in orc territory, so I'm kind of concerned. I'm figuring whatever that is must have been like a dinner bell to all the orcs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get out. Once I get out, I'm going to start poke my head around and start looking to see if I can start to find stragglers.
Okay.
Try to get everyone together.
So as you come out and everybody else is doing what they've described, you start to hear Millie's shrill voice echoing, "They're all dead, Brad. We're on this mountain alone."
I go straight to the voice. Go, Brad, Millie, come with me.
Okay, so you start walking in that direction, and just as I described to Lumen, the ground is broken and really rough and difficult to traverse at times. But you start heading in that general direction. How about Lumen? You hear it as well. Do you do the same, or what do you do?
I'm probably kind of crawling just so I don't trip, and just shouting out like for Silva so that people can hear me.
Okay.
Like anyone can hear me, but also hopefully my sister.
Okay. All right.
I'm just crawling toward voices that I can hear. Bless you.
All right. So you can hear, you do hear Millie. You start going in that general direction, and you're calling out for Silva. How about Merrick? What is Hunter doing?
Well, Hunter is a farmer. He's a very practical guy. You know, his brother's obviously hurt, but he's breathing. His wound isn't bleeding. I'll think he'll be okay for now, even though he's passed out. My first instinct would be to look around for Silva because I can tell when my brother really likes a girl. So I know he'd be upset with me if I didn't go look for her.
Okay.
But then I'll also be kind of like coming out of the hole, kind of look around and immediately try to find anyone alive. I do hear the people screaming, but I'm not kind of showing my presence, be like, "Hey, I'm over here, I'm okay, don't worry." I'm just kind of doing my own thing, looking around.
Okay. Who else do we need to hear from? Lullaby. What's Lullaby doing? He starts to hear some shouting and people looking for, you assume, survivors.
Right. Lullaby picks up his equipment, arms himself with a spear, and then moves towards the sound. If there's anything, any body or any person that's around, or equipment that looks like it's in salvageable shape, I would either carry it if I could, or make note of it if I couldn't.
Okay.
I'm definitely aligned with the success and of the caravan. Life's too short, so.
Okay, so you start as you start moving about, you start to notice where people, you're like, I'm pretty sure there was bedrolls here. There was people right about here, wasn't there? And there's nobody there anymore. There's no sign of the bedrolls. There's no sign of but there's not even a body.
I'm gonna spend just a little bit of extra time to try to take note of, a mental note of where and how many, so that when we try to make accountability for everybody, I can say these 6 or 7 that I remember being close to me. I can't. They're not there.
Yep. No, that's no problem. You continue to search, and you start to hear some other voices too. Those of you that are coming together on whoever's yelling about being the only ones left alive on the mountain. You definitely hear Ketris calling out, "Is there anyone there? Has anyone else survived?" And you hear a few pockets of voices calling back. And the dust is starting to settle. And I'm going to say the 5 of you sort of find yourself at this large outcropping of rock that Brad and Millie had used for cover. And you see these 2 young, Twitter-pated, filthy people. Their hair they're just covered in ash, as are all of you. You now realize Millie's face is streaked with tears where they've run down and sort of cleaned away what ash was on her cheeks. And the 5 of you plus Millie are all sort of looking at one another, and you can still hear those other voices in the distance. Everybody can now see, as the dust is starting to settle, the mountain peak that you were camped beneath is glowing almost like the sun, just illuminating everything around it. The 3 moons are out. You can't see them because of all the dust and ash, but it was the middle of the night when this happened, and you are standing in the brightest of light that you have seen in many years since the sun was extinguished by the 5. And there's something comforting in that. There's no warmth. There's no additional warmth to it. Like you're not feeling like a burning, but there's just light. And like you can feel your eyes even adjusting. Like they've been in the dark, dim days of Aikeon for so long that it's really hard to look at directly in the direction of that mountain, even with all the dust and the debris floating about. And as everyone just kind of takes a moment and a breath and sort of happy to see other people alive, in the ash cloud that surrounds you, you start to see a number of other figures take form. But they're not casting shadows. They're glowing. They're glowing like the mountain is glowing. And as they sort of come through that ash cloud, you start to see the skeletal remains of 4 people walking upright. You can see the last bits of belts and clothes and that hanging from their bones, and you recognize that these are people that were with you in the caravan. But they're walking towards you, and you don't feel like they're coming for a good time. We're going to roll initiative. We're going to take a quick break, though, to get drinks and use bathrooms. And when we come back, we will have our first battle of Aikeon, the Dying Star. And if you're in chat, we're just going to take a couple minute breaks to grab a drink and use the bathroom, and we will be right back.
Honestly, just kind of came out.
I love it. We're back, everybody, and we're gonna go through our first basic Dungeons and Dragons combat, and hopefully it turns out well for everyone, because these things could go south. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do is roll initiative, and the biggest change that's happened between the editions is that we're not going to roll initiative individually. Someone will roll initiative for your team, and then I'll roll initiative for their team, and then whoever goes first. So if you guys have won the initiative, then we're just gonna, everybody on your side will get to take their action, and then we'll move on to the other team's actions. All right. So on your character sheets, there should be a initiative dice roll, and I believe it is, let me find it. Maybe not. I thought there was an initiative dice roll. There's a surprise check. We're not going to, in this particular instance, we're not going to worry about a surprise check. Does anyone else see initiative? Okay, so it's just a D6. So I will roll the I think the monsters initiative. I do get an initiative. Oh no, I don't get an initiative. Very interesting.
Is it a reaction check?
No, that's for when dealing with NPCs. I could have sworn there was an initiative check on the thing. However, that's fine. So let's nominate. We're going to nominate someone different every time to roll initiative. Let's have Lullaby roll initiative for us on this first one. So if you don't have that button, it's just a matter of rolling a d6. There we go. Oh, a 6. Very nicely done. And I tied you. So these things are going to happen simultaneously. The rules state that tied initiatives have simultaneous interactions, which is again something that later editions did not keep. So I'm gonna let you guys go through your turns first, understanding, of course, that any sort of destructive activity that happens to the monsters will, like, they'll not be finished. They'll still get to take their action this turn. So we'll just go around the tree here. If there's someone that has something that they'd like to jump ahead with and do right away, that could be sort of encounter altering, we can do that. Otherwise, we can just go around the table. Is there anybody that needs to get their action in first? No? Okay. Lullaby,
Don't the rules state that the missile weapons go first and like spells
pardon me,
go
yes,
first?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So if anyone is using missile fire, you can do that. And if you're doing missile fire, we need to remember that your character sheet will ask you under the missile range what range you're firing at. So currently the skeletons are only 20 feet away because they've just kind of come through that cloud of fog. The reason that that's important is that short range, you get +1 to hit. And it will add that into your missile fire directly. So, is anyone using any ranged attacks then? First of all, if we're going to be right on target here, we have to do movement first. So, what is everyone doing as far as movement goes? These things shuffle out. If you move back, you will lose sight of them. Like, they'll just become lost in the clouds. Just these sort of like glowing beacons of light in the mist. But if you stay at the current range, you can see sort of the outlines of the bones and the things hanging off them. So, is there anyone making any drastic movements, or are we standing our ground?
I think I'm just staying.
I'm standing.
Stunned.
Would I be like pretty much closest to them, like where they
Sure.
kind of situated? Sure. Okay.
Is that where you want to be?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that. So
Okay.
are you going to move at them? No one's
you
in
say
melee range right now. They're about 20 feet away from you.
How many of them were there again? 3 of
Four.
them?
Four.
4 of them. Not gonna run at them. uh, Definitely freaky. Never seen walking skeletons before. Do I see anyone else alive around me, or just me?
Yourself and all the player characters plus Millie. That's
Plus
who's
Millie.
That's currently who's there with you.
How am I? I'm pretty close to them then.
Yes.
Okay.
I will move up to him so that we're side by side.
Yeah, I'd say I don't want to charge at them, but I don't
Yeah.
want to. I want to be kind of protecting our party, kind of
Yeah.
situate between them and the skeletons, and kind of
Shield
get
up, move
ready.
10 feet.
Yeah, shield up, get ready.
Do you guys
Get within 10 feet of
do you
them.
guys form sort of like a defensive shield wall together as you
Yep.
break
Yeah,
that
shield
distance?
up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will let you take your attacks once they close on you, because they are going to be closing on you. So you guys sort of meet their rush, and I'd like you both, when we get to the melee, we'll have you make your melee attacks. Is anyone shooting or throwing ranged weapons?
Yes.
Yes?
But only. Yes, but I think I would want to make sure none of them are my sister.
Interesting. Give me an intelligence check.
Okay. Oh shoot! I'm like way down the screen. Okay.
That's okay. None of them appear to, you don't see anything that makes them think they're your sister.
Okay. Then yes, I will be throwing a dagger.
Okay, so let's make that attack roll then, and we'll see if you hit. Moving while you do that, what's Brad doing? Is Brad doing a ranged attack at all?
I think I have a short bow that I could definitely fiddle with and try to fire at one of them.
Yep. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Do we have your short bow set up on your sheet?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
You can shoot.
So the dagger flies through the air, Lumen, and sticks into one of these, sticks into sort of the shoulder of one of these skeletons. And as it goes into the shoulder, he doesn't fall over. He's still walking towards, but you notice that the dagger sort of breaks the bone holding the shoulder together, and everything below where the dagger attack was, it just sort of turns to ash and blows away in the wind. And you hear your dagger clatter to the ground. Brad, let's make your arrow attack then. So I'm just going to check your character sheet first, because this is one of the ones that I didn't necessarily... Yeah, it's there. And it's set... Do we see where it says range to target?
Yes, it says short.
Yeah, so we want on short. And your ranges are beside it. 50 feet, 100 feet, 150 feet. Now, technically, when you're playing basic D&D, if you're outside, these distances mean yards. And if you're inside, they mean feet.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So these guys are well within your short range.
Perfect.
So you can go ahead and roll that D20 at the end of your row there beside the short bow, and it should generate an attack here for us. There we go. Oh, a really good hit. You hit like armor class -3. Actually, that was a crit that you rolled.
Yes.
Your first roll, amazing.
Did you see that?
Now, I don't know why it's not...
Boy, Brad.
Oh, it did. It logged it as a crit. It says an automatic hit. So Brad lines up his bow. We didn't really talk about how we were going to do crits prior to starting the game. And Basic gives us a couple of options here for critical hits. But what I'm going to rule for this game is we're just going to say if you roll a crit, you do maximum damage. Okay? We're going to keep it simple. And crit and a 20 always hits. It doesn't matter the armor class of the opponent. So there's those two things going. So the arrow, Brad lets the arrow go. It goes right into the skeleton's skull, and just the whole body just falls and turns to ash. And is Lullaby doing any sort of ranged attack?
Nope, but I do call out. I don't recognize anyone, but I do yell, "Echo, before I kill you again, tell me your true name so that I may glorify your memory." I don't care if any of them.
You guys make me laugh, and then I have to cough. Okay, so you yell out for him. At that point, sort of the skeletal wall hits our two shield bearers. You can both make your physical attacks, guys. I assume there's no spells being cast, because that happens before this. Nope. Okay, awesome. So let's do our melee attacks.
Who goes first?
Whoever, you can both roll. Tell me what you're doing, and Hunter swings his sword, obviously.
I'm swinging my warhammer.
Okay. Another crit. Very nice. So, as the skeletons hit the shield walls, I mean, an arrow goes through, he turns to dust. Hunter brings his blade down on another, it turns to dust. The warhammer shatters a third, and it turns to dust. So they are going to get their actions, like they're attacking as they're like being destroyed. There will only be one left, though, and he's missing an arm at the end of this round. So they swing back, and there's going to be...
I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I still should have a melee attack.
Oh, are you going to take a melee? Sorry, I didn't realize. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, yeah. So I'm going to reach over the wall with my spear.
Oh, that's great.
Yep. Let me see if that works.
Armor class 11. You did not hit. They have a better armor class than 11.
Okay.
Now they attack back. 2 of them on each of our shield bearers. So the first 2 will be on Hunter. They hit armor class 10, which does not hit Hunter because his armor class is lower than that. And armor class 5, which I think does hit Hunter, correct?
I have an armor class of 4.
Oh, so it does not. The shield is literally enough. So you feel them crash against the shield, your blows land, and there's just, ash everywhere. The other 2 on Turner. Can you guys see my attacks being rolled?
We can see your rolls, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so armor class 7 does not hit Turner, I don't think. Neither does armor class 12.
Nope. Yeah. I'm an armor class 4.
So you guys are great. So these skeletons clamor against your shields. You counterattack. There's dust scattered everywhere, and there's just 1 remaining. So we move into the next round of initiative for that. Normally we would roll initiative again for this next round. It doesn't always stay the same. But I am going to say with the one losing its arm and sort of stumbling that I'm going to give you guys the initiative again. So is there any ranged attacks that would like to be taken at this point? Or movement that would change where you are on the battlefield?
If they've moved up to us, I do want to move back.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yes. You see them, they clash against the shields of Turner and Hunter, and then there's just ash flying all over the place on Turner and Hunter, and you can't tell, you don't necessarily have a clean line to see, oh, they've totally died. So you take a few steps back. Anybody else moving, or everyone else holding their ground where they are?
I'm going to stay where I am.
I think I'm going to move back since I don't have, shields.
You step back as well. And let's do, so that's our missile fire. Oh, are you guys shooting your bow again? Are you throwing another dagger? There's 1 left, and he's sort of at the edge of the shield wall. You can see him. He's missing an arm. Lumen already took an arm off him.
Try. Yeah.
Do it. Let's have another dagger attack.
Get a dagger in the back of the head. I'm going to be very upset.
I'm waiting for that.
Oh, no, her aim is true. Another dagger hits him like sort of right in the sternum. Am I using the right terminology here? Right in the sternum. And it turns to ash, and your dagger clatters to the ground again. And there's, for a moment, everybody just braces like, where's the next one coming from? And there's none. At which point, Millie is running over to Brad, going for the high five. Saw his arrow strike true, and knows that there's maybe more to this lug than meets the eye. And she's high fiving him, and she's like, "We're not the only ones. We're not the only ones." and looking around at everyone, and you now start to hear more, cries for help. Other people have obviously fought, are fighting skeletal refugees elsewhere. Also, anyone who struck a killing blow on one of these skeletons, which I think is everyone except Lullaby. The weapon that killed the skeleton now glows with the faintest of orange light, like there's a tiny sun burning inside your weapon, and the glow is just radiating out from it.
Cool.
Well, that's neat.
Can I
All right.
find my dagger that's glowing?
Yes, you go
Glowing
over
dagger.
to pick up your daggers, and the one isn't glowing, but the one that finished it, it's got a glow to it. Unfortunately, Brad, your arrows are lost, and not glowing.
This is a ripoff.
Damn it!
But you got a ginger red. Yeah, Brad, you got a ginger. You're okay.
She was a ginger. Now she's got gray
Right.
hair.
It's ash. It'll wash.
So with that,
So.
as you guys sort of gather yourself after your first bit of battle, you hear cries for these cries for help, and you specifically you hear Ketris, and you hear him say, "Stand behind me, Silva! Stand behind me!"
I'm going
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, I'll run
I'm
that way
going there with them
too.
too.
Okay.
Before we run off though, I'll probably look at Turner and tell him, my brother lost his hand. Could you please take a look at him to make sure he's okay?
I'll do my best I can, but right now let's see as many people we can save.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys make your way in the direction of that sound, and you come upon, you see Silva and two other survivors, one of which is Gerald, up on a rock. And Ketris is standing at the base of the rock, and he has a staff in his hand, and you can see that the staff, like your weapons, has that dull orange glow to it. And there are two other skeletons standing in front of him, and they're like waiting to make their move, and he keeps swinging his staff, trying to keep them back. They have not seen you yet, so you're only about 20 feet because you're coming through this sort of ashy fog, and the skeletons have not taken notice of you. So I'm going to give you a surprise round here to take an action if you'd like. So anybody moving to intercept? Anyone shooting ranged weapons?
I'm going to move right to the closest. We get as close to the very first one I can, so I can hit him with my hammer.
Okay.
That's my intent.
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw a spear.
Excellent. How about Hunter?
How many skeletons are there?
Two.
Two. Yeah, I'm gonna also rush the other one.
But you have a feeling that Ketris has fought off at least one, because his staff is glowing the way your weapons
definitely.
are glowing.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna rush up to them with Turner.
Okay. How about we still have who? Brad left, and we have Emily. What are you doing?
I'll throw the glowing dagger.
Okay, you're gonna throw the glowing dagger. And what's Brad doing?
Kind of fumbling to put another arrow into my short bow, kind of like
And
aiming
shoot?
to see if I can get them again. Yeah.
Okay, let's start with Lullaby's spear. Let's do that one first.
Let's do. What range?
They are about 20 feet from you.
So that's what range?
That hit.
Hauser.
That hit. You hit armor class -1. Very nice. So 3 damage. It hits it and lodges itself sort of through the spine awkwardly and sort of out its front, and it has not died, but it's impaled. Who else was shooting ranged? Emily, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll do my dagger.
Same one as the spear, or a new one?
A glowing one.
No, you're you're throwing the glowing dagger. But are you attacking the skeleton that Lullaby put the spear into, or a different one?
Yeah, probably the same one.
Same one?
I know my daggers won't do that much damage.
Okay, so as your dagger hits that one in the back, it turns to ash. But there is a flash of light from your dagger, and as your dagger hits the ground, you can see that orange light is glowing even brighter.
Oh. Okay.
And a arrow from Brad. Let's do that.
Okay. I'm going to try to hit the one that doesn't have the spear and the dagger in it because Brad thinks he's pretty awesome.
Brad is pretty awesome.
He is pretty awesome.
Oh,
yeah, look at that hit.
Absolutely hits it. Right in the back of the head, and it turns to ash and falls to the ground.
Brad is pretty great.
Yeah, no kidding.
And Ketris looks very relieved to see you, and you can see that he suffered. He has a burn on his cheek. And you can see that his robes maybe look like they were on fire. He also has what looks to be a nasty shiner on his one eye. His other eye is already starting to close up from the bruise and the swelling. He says, I'm so glad you came here when you did." Silva slides down off the rock and runs straight over to her sister. Very happy to see you. Just as I described the other survivors covered in ash, Silva is no different. No different. However, she hobbles even more noticeably than when you saw her on the trail. Gerald gets down and he's clapping his hands. He's like, well done, well done. We may pull through this yet. And the other survivor is a young boy that you recognize, but you don't know his name.
All right, is there any more screaming? Because we're going to go to the next group.
Okay. You guys move around. You don't find any more skeletons. You do gather a few more people, and the sort of the total number of the convoy is sort of a third of what it was. There's about 18 of you left.
Do I find Gerald?
Yes, he was on the rock with Silva.
Okay, good.
Yes, and he's clapping and very congratulatory of you.
Hey Jeremy, I'm gonna collect my spear. Is it glowing?
It is. Yeah, it was in him when he died, right? So yes, there's a bit of a glow there to it.
Okay, I am a little bit irritated that Lumen killed Echo, and I probably should have done it. So I look at her kind of sideways for the rest of the evening.
Okay.
Shake my head at her.
As well, Lumen, as you pick up your dagger, you realize that it's giving off enough light, not torchlight level, but about 5 feet of glowing light around you. It also, being a magic user, you can sense that it's been imbued with power, and it's considered a +1 dagger now.
Ooh. Cool.
So you can, on your character sheet, if you'd like, go down to the bottom and make sure that under magical equipment, there's a +1 dagger listed there now. And you might have to create a new attack button, essentially, that incorporates that modifier of +1 to hit and +1 to damage.
Okay.
But if not, just use your regular dagger, and we will do the math ourselves. And then after session, I can go in and doctor it. So, you take a few moments and people gather. There's about 18 of you left. The dust has finally sort of settled or blown away off the mountaintop. What you're looking at is the mountain peak that you were resting under is shattered. There are cracks all over it, and there are beams of light radiating from it. You can clearly see where this object entered the mountain. There is like a perfectly... It didn't hit and just sort of clean shear the mountaintop off. It hit and bored a hole, and there is a very large hole in the side of the mountain, and there is smoke rising out of that hole, and then the top of the mountain peak is all cracked and fractured, and light is spilling out from obviously this stone whatever hit the mountain glowing inside.
Do we go check it out?
Kind of want to check it out.
I want to check it out, but I'm also kind of got to make sure this caravan gets to safety.
Your brother, by the way,
what
we should mention that. Bill is now out of the crevice. You've sort of gathered everyone. Lots of people are injured. Even though there's 18 of you left, so there's 5 of you, there's another 13 people, and that includes like Ketris and your NPCs that were mentioned, with the exception of Echo. And everyone is injured in one manner or another, or a little bumped up.
Can I scoop up Echo's remains?
Unfortunately, they blew away in the wind. I will say that there you find his copper ring lying in a little pile of ash. You don't know if it's his ash, because you saw him just get washed away from you, but you find his copper ring. It's still a little warm.
I'm gonna grab whatever ash I can find that appears to be like maybe a double handful.
Okay.
And from here on out, that's Echo to me.
Okay. All right. Ketris, as you guys tend to the wounded, your brother's unconscious, Bill's unconscious, but his wounds don't look, because of the immediate cauterization, he didn't lose much blood. The real concern is just that he'll get an infection. Ketris has been standing and looking at that mountain and pondering it as you guys sort of have collected everybody and found, Echo's ashes and things like that. And everyone is very somber.
Sorry, did you say Bill is unconscious currently?
Yes, he is.
I kind of pick him up and kind of carry him over to Lumen and Silva, and I would just be like, I overheard you guys talking about plants. Are you like herbalists? Do you know like medicine? I'm really worried about my brother. I don't want his arm wound or to get infected. Silva, could you please take a look at it for me?
Give me a charisma check.
That's not good. Oh, it's not bad. Okay, what did I get?
You got an epic failure, buddy.
Oh, no!
So Silva rolls her eyes and looks at her sister, and then sort of swipes her hair back. She goes, "I might have something. Put him down over there."
I put him down over there.
Okay, so she goes to tend to something, but you haven't endeared her at all. Ketris says, I think we need to invest. He comes over to all of you and says, I think we need to investigate what happened there.
I agree, sir, but what about these people? We're the only thing that's protecting them. We're stuck on this mountain pass. And who's going to take care of them?
Ketris says, I understand that there's a certain measure of danger in all of this, but doesn't this feel more than just coincidence to you? I mean,
it does.
We're headed north, trying to find a way to save ourselves, and this thing falls from the sky.
Give me 1 minute. I'm going to walk over and find Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald's sitting. He's got the young boy that was on the rock with him and Silva when you came to the rescue, and he's sitting with the boy beside him. And obviously, the boy was not alone on this trip. He's about 9 or 10, and Gerald is trying to comfort him because obviously whoever came along with this kid is no longer here.
I'm gonna try and get Gerald like I motion to
Yeah.
come over because I got to talk to him.
Okay. He
And
says
I'm gonna tap.
he gives the boy his water skin. He says, have a drink. I'm going to go and talk to my friend, and I'll be right back. And then he moves away to talk to you.
Like Gerald, my old friend, I don't know what to do. My orders were to get this caravan to safety. But something's just happened now. Whatever fell in it, whatever crashed into that rock, it's clearly a coincidence. And it's either going to be a source of evil based on the skeletons, or a source of power that might be able to, with all the light it's generating, might be able to regenerate our suns. I'm torn. Do I follow my sacred oath and to help escort the caravans? Or should I go check this out? What it might be an ultimate evil or an ultimate good. I don't know. I'm torn. I don't know what to do. What would you do? I need some advice.
Let me impart some wisdom on you, old, if I can call you old friend. We've come a long way together.
Yes, that's why I need your guidance. I don't have a master here.
My grandfather once told me a cob of corn in your hand is worth 2 cobs of corn in the field. We don't know what's over the next horizon. We do know what lies in that mountain over there. Something powerful. Besides, if it's no doubt that its landing has been noticed by others, it lit the night sky. It still lights the night sky.
That'll mean the orcs will, as long as you guys stay here, the orcs won't attack you. Too bright for them.
Agreed.
All right. I'm going to go. Are you going to be okay if I go?
Oh, friend, he pats you on the shoulder. He says, this journey northward was all about finding all right. We'll be okay.
Thank you. I go back to the group and said, I'm going to Tetris, I'll go check out that, what fell. I'll go with you.
Ketris says, yes, who else wants to come? I won't make any of you come, but I think this is important. I think this is perhaps a piece of destiny. We need to go and check this.
Look at Lullaby and go, Destiny. That'd make a nice story, wouldn't it?
Lullaby reaches down, grabs a handful of ashy earth, and lets it fall from his fingers and says, I will avenge the echo.
Millie pushes hard on Brad's back to make him step forward, and she's like, Brad'll go.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll go. And I kind of turn to Millie and I look at her and I nudge her and I go, do you think we should tell them about the eagle, or should we just let that one, lay where it is?
I don't think they need to know about the eagle, Brad.
Okay. I'll keep that between us. Okay. I'll go.
He's trying to get rid of Brad. As long as someone takes care of my brother while I'm away, I'll go.
Yes. I'm tending to it. That's Silva.
So I figured.
I'll just kind of go over to her and be like, look, I know you didn't like the guy, but he's missing a hand at this point. And I'm worried about your foot, so you need to stay here anyway.
They're the perfect couple.
Here's another dagger.
Oh, she should have been called Peggy. She should have been called Peggy. So she loses a foot.
I'll give her another one of my regular daggers, so she has 2.
Okay.
So she can protect them. I don't know. And then I'll say, I will come as well. I guess. I mean, it did something to this dagger, and I don't know. I need to know what that thing is. There's something about it.
All right. So the five of you plus Ketris, you move. It takes a bit of climbing, but you reach the point of entry, and there is a warm orange glow coming up and out, and it's like, I mean, if you look right down, it's difficult, so you have to kind of shield your eyes. But there is a perfectly circular bored hole, about 10 feet in diameter, leading into the side of the mountain face. And it's still, like, the rock in places is still radiating heat from whatever bored its way through.
Like perfectly, like, I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever seen like Alien versus Predator, like that big laser beam through the ice. That's like perfect circle.
Perfect circle. Not that steep though. This has just a general.
Yep.
You know, it does have a decline. The whatever hit it came in on an angle, but it's not like a sheer drop or anything like that.
Okay, but it's like perfectly smooth.
Yes, yeah. It could not have been like it. Even the best dwarven masons would have a difficult time of picking this, like making this perfectly round hole.
Well, that looks weird.
I look at Hunter. What part of this day hasn't been weird?
That's very fair. Is it like the entryway? Does it look like if we walk into it, it's not like we wouldn't slide down it. Like we could just walk straight, like a tunnel.
That's right. That's right. It's only a general decline. Thanks for the bits, Goose. That's awesome. So you begin to descend, and you eventually come to a chamber, and you've been shielding your eyes for the most part on the way down this, and as you're getting closer, it's obviously brighter and brighter and brighter. And then when you reach the end of this tunnel, it opens into a chamber, and it literally, as the first person steps their foot down into the chamber, the light just like and dims right down. In the center of the chamber, there is an orange stone, about the size of an orange, and it just floats about 3 feet off the ground. It bobs ever so gently, as if being pushed on by a breeze that no one can feel. It is not a solid orange, though. It ripples and rolls with color, oranges and reds and yellows. Surrounding it, evenly spaced, almost perfectly spaced, you would guess, about 10 feet in 5 different directions, there are 5 cairns of stones. And each cairn appears to be made of a different stone. One appears native, like the mountains that you're currently in. The other 4 appear that they've been quarried elsewhere. They're not the same stone as the mountain. And each of these piles are they're all the same stone. Like they're not mixed and matched. So each of these 5 piles are perfectly spaced. Thanks, Gator. So
time.
Right in the center of these stones is this floating orb. Beyond this chamber, which appears to be natural, but at the same time, with the cairn, someone has been here to build these stone cairns, these piles of stone. And beyond this, you can see another tunnel that looks carved into the stone, and a set of stairs descending deeper into the mountain.
Was the orange orb the thing that was glowing before we stepped into the room?
Yes, it was giving off massive amounts of light, and then and now it's still giving off about the same amount of light as a torch would. So about a 30-foot radius of light. So you can see this cavern very clearly. It's well lit by this orb in the center. And the cairns, cast shadows up onto the walls.
Did Ketris come up with us?
Ketris is with you, yes.
I asked him, what do you make of that? Have you seen anything like that before?
Not in all my years. And I've been on Aikeon a little longer than I might appear. At which point he steps into the room and moves over to the first set of stone Cairn, the first stone Cairn, and sort of takes a closer inspection of the rock. He goes, "I'm not much of a, not much of a geologist, but this is definitely a different stone than the mountain."
I kind of hear what he says, and I kind of see if I can look at the other stone piles and kind of just like see if those also don't belong with the rest.
Yes, as you sort of walk around, some of like there's one pile of stone that maybe has flecks of maybe copper deposits in it, and another that looks more like a sandy stone than the hard sort of rock of this mountain. And sure enough, as you walk around the perimeter, no, I will make note of this. No one has entered the perimeter of the cairns, but as Ketris and Hunter sort of make their way around, sure enough, there are definitely 4 cairns with very different stone than what is here. The sandstone is really peculiar. Like this is a type of rock that you'd find like in a desert or something, and with the exception of the cropping up deserts from the strange weather of Aikeon, there isn't a desert on this continent for miles and miles and miles. And the other stones, there's one peculiar stone that has a blue fleck through it. You don't know what that is, and it looks very foreign. And then the final cairn that sort of as you and Ketris round the outside, as Hunter and Ketris reach the final stone Cairn, the final stone Cairn is obviously the stone of this mountain.
I'm gonna look at the different stones with my infravision to see if any of them give off like a heat signature.
All of them have a low heat signature just from this impact, this glowing orb that's here. However, each of those stones carry that heat and bleed off that heat very differently. So, I mean, with your infravision, you can tell. Again, these are not the same types of stones.
Just want to be clear.
I relay that to the rest of the party.
So we got one that's a copper, sand, blue, and what was the last? I know one's the same as the mountain. You said there was 5 of them.
Yeah, just a moment. Let me check my notes quick.
Yeah.
Copper.
I had kind of a weird question.
Yep.
Also, whenever you're ready.
Yes, sorry. The final one appears more coral than rock.
Coral? Thank you.
And go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, so presumably we all know that there were 5 archmages.
Yes.
That were here. Would there be any reason to think that these 5 cairns have anything to do with them, or?
Yeah, you think.
Like, are they known for like elements or something?
You think that there's definitely a connection here. There were 5 wizards that brought about the end of the world, and those five wizards, I should also say, this didn't really get covered. Those 5 wizards were more than just, hey, there's a wizard. They were like wizard kings. They like ruled different areas of the world. The one that ruled the area that you're currently in and where all your homes are sort of from would be Clava, and she was a wizardess of sort of cruel intentions. Yeah. So the fact that there's 5 Cairns and 5 wizards.
So can I just say, like, maybe the cairns have something to do with their kingdoms? Like, maybe these kinds of rocks are from their different kingdoms? Because there's one from here.
That sounds plausible.
Do I poke the orange?
Yeah, I was gonna say, does it seem
Like, is that the
unsafe
sun?
to
Will I
go to
burst
the
into
orb?
flames? Like,
Stop! I have a 10-foot pole. Let me poke it with the 10-foot pole.
I have a pole.
Starts to step back slow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Brad. Do you want to try shooting an arrow at this orange?
No, I'm going to
Feeling
get
some
behind the
type of way.
stone Cairn, and I will try poking it with my 10-foot pole.
Okay, so you can stand just outside the Cairn and reach your 10-foot pole in, and at the end, I mean, it's getting a little hard to control. Like you're at the very end of your 10-foot pole, and it just sort of it taps that orange thing, and just in like just a flash of a second, it falls to the ground. Like whatever was holding it up, it falls to the ground, and then it just sort of rolls over and comes to a rest between two of the stone cairns, and its light goes way down, just to like maybe a 5-foot aura, and the whole cave just sort of darkens.
But nothing happened to the pole.
No.
I'm going to use the pole to see if I can bring it to me.
Okay.
Like,
so use the pole, and you sort of sweep it out from the center of the cairns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's outside of the carriage. You could totally pick it up now if you'd like. I mean, you could have picked it up inside the cairns, but I think I get what you're laying down there.
Yeah. Hey,
don't step in the circle.
that's why you got the 10-foot pole.
I also have a 10-foot pole. I played enough D&D to know you need a poking stick.
Is it giving off any heat? Like when I go to try to touch it, like just before I touch it for heat? I'm going to pick it up.
Okay, so as you pick it up, you are filled. It almost brings you to tears. You're filled with a feeling of positivity and hope for just the briefest of moment. It's overwhelming. Aww. It's like if you see someone that you love and you haven't seen them for a very long time. You pick that orb up, and it's like just for a moment you're home.
Okay.
And then you're just holding it in your hand, and it's giving off light, and you feel like if you focused on that stone, you could ask it to give off more light.
I'm gonna try that. See if I can go light up the plate. Just like give me more light.
So as you do that, it very slowly grows from 5 feet to 10 feet to 15 feet to 20 feet to 30 feet. The entire cave is lit. You can see all those cracks that the light was shining through, like to fissures to the outside. It goes to 50 to 60 to 70, and you can and everyone can see like you're starting to lose sight of Turner in the light. It's just like overwhelming. 100 feet, 150 feet.
I'll ask it to start to dim down again.
Yeah, and you have the same control over it to bring it back in.
Get it back to about 30, 40 feet.
Yep.
I'm just going to hold this and look at Lullaby and look at... I forget. What's the magic user's name again? I keep forgetting.
Oh,
Lumen?
Lumen.
Lumen.
Oh, or Ketris. Lumen and Ketris. They're both magic users.
I'm going to hand it... I'm a man of God and arms. This is... I hand it... Maybe you know more about this than I do. This seems to be able to give the power of hope and light. It's like a relic, and maybe you might know about this. And I kind of hand it to her.
Me?
Yeah. You're the magic user. You're the smart one.
Do you take it?
You're the magic user.
Yeah, well.
I want to take it and then hold my glowing dagger up to it and see if it does
Okay,
anything.
hold on. The moment your fingertips touch it, you see Lumen's hands sort of grab onto it. She goes very stiff, and the light from the orb dims just a bit, and Turner, you can see her eyes begin to glow with that kind of light, and Lumen, you see Turner come and give you the orb, and as soon as that orb touches your hand, like you're hit with a waft of wind, and when you open your eyes, the orb is in your hand. You feel like you could pull all kinds of energy, arcane energy, out of that orb as a magic user. As well, you are standing in your sister's garden. A bee flies past you, pollen floats by, and above you is the sun of Aikeon that is like orange and bright and you can smell like lavender on the wind. You know, a bee flies past you, as I said, maybe a butterfly, and you are home.
The plants are alive, I would
Yes.
assume? Oh. Ooh.
I know what this is.
As you stand there
Does it
sort of
feel
taking
like-
as you stand there sort of taking that all in for a moment, you see Silva returning from the creek, which is not far away. She has a wooden staff over her shoulders and a bucket of water on each end of the staff, and she's sort of whistling to herself, and she looks very happy.
Does it feel like the past or the future?
You're not sure.
Not sure.
For those of you in the cave, Lumen is holding on to the stone, and her eyes just continue to glow white, and she's very stiff, holding on to it. She doesn't appear to be in any pain, but no movement.
Lumen, are you okay?
You can't hear
Do I
him.
even? I
Ooh.
was gonna say, do I even hear that?
Yeah. Okay, so Lumen, what do you want to do?
I feel like there's power in this thing that I'm holding in my sister's garden.
Yes.
I want to see if I can use it to make her plants flower.
Okay. Hold on a second. So you focus on that, and yeah, like you're looking at the plants. You can't it you hear the flower say to you, "I'm sleepy."
Oh.
It has a closed bud. It has a closed bud. But you feel like you've talked to it, like you've communicated with it, and it's saying I'm sleepy.
I want to ask it to wake up.
Okay, as you do that, it's
Wake up, please.
it's like, I'll try, and it starts to turn, and it's like you see the flower blossom open up. And as it does that, you hear a familiar voice, but you can't you don't know whose voice it is, but it is familiar to you. And it says, the voice says, I crushed that stuff for you. I don't know what good it's gonna do. And Silva replies like she's looking past you, like she can't see you, but she's looking past you, and she says, "You better have crushed it all. I told you we need it."
It's Bill.
It's Bill.
It's gotta be Bill.
Can I see who it is?
Yeah, you turn, and there is a man. At first, you don't recognize him. He has a beard grown in, and then you notice that he's missing a hand, and there's some sort of a device like a hook or something, but it's holding a pestle. And you get just that briefest flash of him, and then you're back in the room with everybody.
I dropped the orb on the floor.
Okay. So you open your palm, and it literally just rolls from the front onto the back of your hand.
Oh, okay.
Chat is chanting, Bill, 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 Bill.
That orb is the soul of the sun. That
Lumen, you'll have
orb
to
is-
teach me that trick.
Yeah,
That's
that
not
orb
magic
is
right
the
there.
soul of the sun. That's what that
Eagles,
is.
man. Eagles. Don't get them.
Eagles.
No idea what the Eagles think.
So you know it rolls onto the back of your palm. You sort of twist it a bit, and no matter what you do, you cannot drop that orb.
Oh crap. Okay.
That's the
Yes.
soul of the son of Aikeon? Am I saying it right?
And just like I described to Turner, you feel like if you wanted, you could call more light out of this stone if you need be. You also feel like like every spell that you've sort of learned about in your short time as a wizard, you feel like with a bit of concentration, you might be able to call on that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Lumen,
Yeah, I
are
think-
you all right? Your eyes are a little glazed over there.
And you guys have seen her sort of twist her hand and the orb roll around her hand, come to rest on her knuckles and everything. Like they just it just moves with her.
I think she should carry the orb.
I think we should let the elf
Can I
hold it
take
and see what happens with him.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I think that might be the soul of our sun. These
we could
5
use it.
cairns, if they represent the wizards, that would represent the sun. If that represents the sun, and the amount of hope that I got when I touched it, what did you feel? Something's clearly happened with you in a positive way. That could be the sun soul.
I saw something. I feel like there's a lot of energy in this thing that could be used to do something. It was like I was transported to another place, and I made a flower bloom, and then my sister was there with Bill.
Bill.
And I feel
Who's
like
Bill
I
again?
I don't know.
Ketris says to Lumen. Ketris says to Lumen, do you think you had a vision? Do you think this is some sort of future that you've seen? Some sort of...
I think so. I hope so. It was good. Things were growing. There were plants. The sun was healthy. It was... I mean, my sister didn't know Bill before, so it'd have to be in the future.
As you say that, a very calm and echoey voice, very breathy,
Echoey?
echoey, comes from the stairwell, and the voice says, "Come forward, warlord, and claim your prize."
I did not like that. That was
And
weird.
everybody hears it. It just sort of echoes up out of the darkness of that stairwell.
I look at Hunter to say, well, gotta die of something. I walk towards the stairwell.
All right. You can see that.
Up.
You can see that the stairwell descends close to you would guess about 25 feet, and you can see that it opens into a chamber, not a cavern, but a worked stone chamber below.
Basically, tell everybody what I see. So, are we gonna go?
I feel like we have to.
I'll take a
think
look
we
down
have
there. If my infravision gives me any benefit. If not,
Yep.
I'll just
So
kind
you
of
look
follow
you look
behind.
down into a cold tunnel, and you can see that there's definitely some sort of a chamber down below.
Okay, I pass on that information to the group.
Ketris says, "Warlord, we need to proceed with extreme caution. I think there could be more answers for us, though, in whatever lies below."
Agreed. I look at is there enough room for 2 of us to walk straight down? Like, how many people can walk abreast down this thing?
2 people. Tight. It's about 5 feet wide, the tunnel, but 2 people could fit down.
I look at Hunter and said, if we tap with our poles, we could probably lead the way and have our shields up.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Before we head down, though, I did want to loop around again around the 5 stone piles, and I would like to grab like one small like rock that I can easily carry from each pile and kind of put it in my backpack.
Okay. That's no problem. Hunter does that. I'm going to switch maps here on Roll20, guys. So tell me if you can see the party token.
I just see a black screen.
It's just a black
Okay,
screen.
while while the map is loading,
Yep.
because Lullaby can see kind of in the dark,
Yes.
has a little bit of magic. I can kind of lead the way. You guys don't have to tap. Or
I'm
we could
looking
light
for
it.
traps.
I can do that too.
Oh, you can do that? Okay.
Yeah.
I cannot see the party token, and I've shrunk the
Yeah.
map down.
Yeah,
Okay,
same. No.
Just give
no
me one
party
moment here.
token yet.
Just give me one moment here.
What?
Is it because I'm human? I can't see in the dark.
Yeah, we can't see in the dark.
No, I don't think it's that
Surprise.
because the token's admitting light. I've given it 30 feet of light. I think it's a permissions thing. So just a moment.
Yeah, no worries.
I see it perfectly. Not really.
We also have the big orange.
Yeah.
The light
Oh yeah,
orange.
that's true. Yeah, there's no need.
Oh,
for
no, I
people.
can. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Now I'm seeing stuff.
Okay,
Zoom in
so
there.
we are not going to use individual tokens. We are going to use like a single token to represent the party. And if you guys split up, well, then we'll have a heck of a time. But for now, we're still gonna, if there's combat or an encounter or anything like that, we're still gonna theater of the mind it. We're just gonna use the single party token to move you through the dungeon, okay? To try to keep
I
to try to keep
I
this
immediately
like
turn around and run outside. No, I'm
an
kidding.
old school feel. We're gonna try to.
Get back here.
And you guys all should have, I think, the ability to move that token. Just don't. I would ask that you just don't make incredibly large leaps on the map. But 3 or 4 squares at a time is fine if someone wants to move it. That's fine. Are you going to descend the stairs then? I assume.
Yes.
Okay, so you enter a 25 by 25 foot room, and there's a door, and we're just going to use cardinal points here. So you came down the tunnel from the south, the stairs from the south, and there is a door to the east. The door is made of stone, and it looks like it was built to last and just serve the purpose of a door. It's not ornate in any way. It's square. It's literally just a rectangle, just a little bit depressed into an alcove, and there is an iron ring that looks like you can pull the door. The wall that is to the north has suffered some damage, and it's recent. You think it's probably from the impact of that thing hitting the mountain. The stone has crumbled, the roof has given way a bit, and you can see a number of spider web-like cracks in the ceiling, indicating that maybe there's been some structural damage here. Along that northern wall, though, you can make out writing.
Say we go try to read the writing.
I agree.
Do I know Brad's profession?
No, probably not.
Okay. Well,
Unless Brad has been open about it. You know what? I'll leave that to Madison. Madison, if people know you're a thief, then that's up to you.
I'll say that I haven't told anyone. I was just kind of on this journey, so if
Okay.
someone wants to ask, they're open to.
I think that's fair. So I'm gonna search for secret doors, traps, things like that, because I don't realize that there's a
Yep.
thief in the party.
So go ahead and
Yeah.
on your character sheet, make that roll. It should be down the sheet a bit. All right.
So if there's a secret door, I find it, or I
Yep.
possibly find it, and if there's a trap, I'm pretty sure there's no traps. We're good, people.
You take a look around and everything looks good. You don't find any secret or concealed doors.
I don't know why the traps rolled twice. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. That's so fine. If we ever get something like that where it like doubles up, no worries. We're just gonna take the first one and keep moving along. That's okay. So Ketris moves across the room and looks at the writing on the wall, and then immediately dives into the. Remember all those scrolls that are hanging all over? Dives into his scroll cases and brings one out and opens it and looks about the room. Someone could bring the light a little closer.
You're muted.
You're muted.
I'm muted.
No,
Oh,
That was me.
Guevara.
I walked to the middle of the room and brighten the light.
all right.
I think it's like poetic that Lumen is the one that has the light.
Yes.
So the writing on the wall is written in a strange language that no one here understands. And Ketris is comparing the writing on a scroll to the writing on the wall. And he then begins to weave a spell. And as he completes the reading of the spell, you see that his eyes take on just the faintest of glow, like a glimmer of blue for a moment. And he says, "These are magical runes. These are written in the arcane." And he starts to translate. He says, "Very strange. There's much talk," and he starts over. I'm just going to move the token so you can see. He starts over in this corner, and he starts working his way across this way. He says, "It speaks of balance, law, chaos. One cannot exist without the other. Destruction is never complete. One cannot have complete darkness without light to recognize it as such. The universe is circular. There's no beginning or end." And then he gets to the part that's all broken and cracked by the damage, and he's like, it's talking vaguely. It's talking in large themes and ideas. That there's nothing precise here, and he looks frustrated by that.
I approach the stone door.
Okay.
That it doesn't look like there's like a key or anything like it could.
There's no keyhole. There's an iron ring that is sunk into another iron ring that has been hammered or drilled into the door.
Does it look like a pretty heavy door?
It does look like a pretty heavy door.
I'm gonna try to open it.
As you lift the ring and begin to pull, the balance on the door is impeccable, and it takes very little effort, and it just slowly opens to reveal. Well, let's see what it reveals behind.
I told you there were no traps. Carry on.
You're the man.
Oh, well, the elf.
Oh.
But
True.
So beyond, the door opens into a small chamber, and there is a tunnel that continues to lead to the east.
I step forward with my little mirror to kind of peer around the side to see
Peer around the
if there's
corner?
anything.
Excellent,
Just
excellent.
A little too far out of my vision though, so I can
As you
kind of
do
see
that,
things,
you can hear Millie in your head going, "There's no corners in the mountains," and you feel like I told her.
Wait till she hears this. So many
She'd be
corners.
proud.
So to the
So
north,
many corners.
to the north, you can see that there is a doorway, and the passageway to the east is framed by a stone arch, and at the very top of the arch there is a sun carved into the stone.
I kind of like turn back, like, hey, I actually think I got something down there. The thing. It's not as cool as the orange though.
The orange. Oh, what'd you find?
I can't really see because my mirror's a little like dusty, but I think that we should go check it out. I really just want to go check things out.
And I just
Okay.
peek around
I
the
tuck
corner.
it into me. No, my thing.
Hunter looks around the corner and can see a door just like the one he just opened. It's a big stone door, and it has an iron ring on it.
And what do I see down the hallway?
It just keeps going as far as your light can see.
Can't see.
If I notice that there's like a pause, then I'll check again for traps and secret doors, and if
Sure.
if I go to this doorway, then I'm gonna give it a listen.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go in order. Detect secret doors. Definitely none of those. Find traps. Definitely none of those. And then I'm gonna listen. Yeah, there's none of those.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
nothing. All clear, people. All clear.
Told you.
Told you.
Where did you say the sun was carved?
Right over here. Can you see where I'm pinging the map?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
There is an archway, and right the top stone, the what would you call that? The keystone. The top stone has a sun carved into it. Not an ornate, just a simple circle with sort of triangles to sort of around it to show that it's radiating light.
I'm not much of a decision maker, but I'm pretty good at opening doors. So, if you want to go
Sure.
down the hallway, we can go down the hallway. If you want me to open up the door, I can open up the door.
Can I see what happens if I stick the orb under that archway with the
Okay.
sun?
Yeah. You put the orb under the archway. The arch and whatnot does not react in any way.
Okay. Part of me wants to go down to where the sun hallway, but
Doors, right? Doors.
it's a tough decision.
Who's the
Usually I
party
have a good
leader?
time with doors.
Who's our party leader?
You're the orange whisperer. You lead the way.
Yeah, Orange Whisperer. You lead the way.
You don't hear any more speaking or any more.
No, and as you think about
nothing like that,
as
that
Lullaby
seems
kind of thinks about
strange.
that, there's no one, like there was no one in the chamber before. There's no one here. There's a big heavy door between the two rooms. Like, where did that voice come from?
Have we been looking up as we've been going along?
Yes, you have. The roof in this small room, just like it was in the previous, is all spider cracked and fractured. And yeah, there's a concern for the stability of the ceiling.
Did the door make any noise when it opened?
No.
I can't remember. Okay,
in fact, not only did it not make any noise, but as it was pulled open, Hunter found it to be incredibly balanced, and it just swung on its hinges. So, not sure how long this has been here, but well crafted, built with purpose, maybe.
I would worry that if we left doors closed behind us, that something might sneak through without us knowing. So maybe we go through the door.
All right, I'm going through the door.
You want to like close all the doors behind us?
I think we should, but
Is that what we're gonna do?
Okay.
We're gonna close the door and open the other one.
I'm
Get
okay with
someone
that.
to walk
I
backwards the
have-
whole time.
I have like 50 feet of rope. Should we like, I don't know, tie it to a rock or something, attach it to our waist, keep walking through? I don't know.
I have another 50 feet too. We could like join them together.
I got
100
50 feet of rope too.
150 feet of rope.
I also have rope.
yeah,
Like the kindergarten line.
Lullaby didn't have any good starting gold, so I've got 4 feet of rope.
We got 254 feet of rope.
He has
Where's
some
that?
twine.
Yeah. I have a 1-foot staff, so like if we need an 11-foot staff, we can use my 4 feet of rope. Tie them together, we're good.
Amazing.
Let's go
So
through the door, that's what I think.
as you
Yeah.
pull the door open, it's just as balanced as the other one, but this time you hear it pull a bit of gravel with it, and when you look beyond the door, you can see that there's debris, as the map depicts, on a set of stairs that have been carved into the stone descending to what you can see is another tunnel. And But again, the damage of the impact is present here.
So now the logic is, do we go down without first looking on a single level, or... I mean, the
say we
argument
clear
could be
the-
made.
I say we clear the first level first, and then go to the second level down.
I think that sounds reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah,
With
okay,
Daywall.
let's do that. Well, we peek down the door. Let's peek down the hallway.
Okay.
At least.
Yeah.
Now, Hunter opened the door. Is Hunter leading down the hallway then as well?
No, I'm the door guy.
I can go. Because
Okay.
if Lullaby will use the infravision for that, so that's
And I'll be
necessary.
right behind him with my shield up.
Awesome.
I think that's probably. I think I probably would be carrying my spear at the ready.
Okay, so you move down a little bit, and you can see that the tunnel turns to the south.
I relay that to the group.
Who's covering our rear? Who's the last person?
I might as well be the last person, I guess.
Okay.
the fighter in the back.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking.
No, that's
be up the
good. No,
front,
no.
You think
You
so?
never know.
All
I
right.
think that
We got a
someone's gonna
shield
sneak up
dude
on
at the
us.
front. We got a shield guy at the back.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
I think this is okay. I think this
All
is
right.
all right.
Okay.
If you want me to go to the front, I will. But
No. I
I'm
think that
indifferent.
I think we have a couple martial characters. Elves are.
Yeah.
Elves can do both, so I think it's not a.
Yeah, I
terrible-
think we're good. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So, maybe keep going.
Yep.
All right.
I'll be
Do I
more.
need to keep saying I'm checking for traps and stuff?
Yeah,
You
sure,
just-
sure. Give me another check.
I'm gonna just as I go along. There's the doors. There's the traps.
Okay.
I'm not seeing your rolls.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the trap rolls.
No, I
either.
think it's sending them to me, but John and I can still see them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. All
So
right.
that it's so that he can say whether or not.
I wish it would not
We
show
succeed
John
or
the
not.
result. I wish it would
okay.
not show
I
John the
won't-
result. But
I won't say one way or the other.
I don't think there's any way around it, unfortunately.
You could roll for me, but then that takes my fun away.
So, yeah, exactly. I don't want to take your fun away. I agree. So, here's what I'm gonna tell you. When you get to here, directly in front of you on the floor, you see the markings of a secret door. You see that the stonework sort of has a perfect rectangle. And
Like
the lines don't, the lines are not crossing. I'm gonna bring it up to the map layer so you can see it.
Sure. Door sized or
No,
trap door sized or
a very large trap door.
got it. So I stop and I hold my hand up and I see if I can get down like on my hands and knees and identify the seam so that everyone else can see it.
Yeah. So you sort of run your finger along it, and everybody can now see that there is sort of this. There's about a foot down either side, but the trapdoor is like 8 feet across and stretches 10 feet forward, and it looks like it's on closer inspection. Lullaby, you can tell that it's probably made of wood, but it's been painted and then sort of like it's had a bit of gravel spread across it, and you feel like if someone put their weight on it, it would probably give way.
So Emily painted this one. Good job, Emily. It looks very authentic. I could hardly tell it wasn't stone. I pass that on to the group and just make sure that we're all tracking the same thing. If we want to, I suspect if we walk on this, we'll fall.
There is a 1 foot, about a 12-inch lip that runs around the edges. So you feel like if you push yourself up against the wall and slide down, you could avoid this and get into the tunnel beyond.
Do we
Okay, if it-
want to do that, or do we want to go down into the basement?
Now
Let's go
might be a
around.
good time for
I think-
rope if we want to get around this.
Yeah, the rogue
have
could try to deactivate it so that it won't give way with the thieves' tools.
Yeah.
Boy, I wish someone could do that, but I can't.
I was more thinking that we could all like hang on to it so that if one person falls, at least
We all go down together.
So as they're
Our
as they're
wife-
debating, Brad, you know that you're thinking in your head, I think I could probably I could probably wedge that so it doesn't drop away. But it would require Brad to make a, I think it's called a disarm. Disarm traps. And it will be way down your character sheet, probably.
Okay. Let's see.
Find remove traps.
Yes. Either attempt only tried once per trap. Okay.
Did you want to try that?
Sure. Yeah.
So Brad suddenly pulls out his thieves' tools, his
so many.
His stuff, rolls out the leather pouch on the floor and goes to work. So go ahead and give me a find trap roll. There should be a dice right beside it that you can roll for find remove traps.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you start playing around with it and it actually triggers, and the sort of two doors swing open like almost like barn doors on the floor, right? They just drop away, and there is a 10-foot pit, and at the bottom there is just solid flat stone. But I mean, you take d6 damage from falling in that, so you're like, oh, that's a bit of a drop. But what you notice is like there's no bodies lying in it. Like you don't think it's ever been used. You don't think the trap has ever been triggered. And the grit and sand that was on top of the trap doors all falls down into the pit. And now you can clearly see that they're wooden doors that have been painted. And yeah.
Gnarly, man.
Wait, so is Brad at the bottom of the pit?
What?
Did you say Brad
Pitt?
Is it Brad Pitt?
It's Brad's pit.
It's Brad's pit.
Wait a minute.
No. Oh no.
When Hunter says that, Lullaby takes out a quill and a piece of paper, nods, and writes that joke down.
And I think on that horrible joke, we will wrap there for this evening. And
What's in the pit?
We will.
What's in the pit?
What's in the pit?
Now, we have a schedule to play every second week, so we will not be here next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after we will return to see if our heroes and their Sunstone and Brad's Pit, as well as the as sands through the hourglass, so are the days of Silva and Bill. We'll see what happens with the budding NPC romance. If you're still there with us, thank you so much for watching. Go and check out. We've linked. I'll see if I can link these really quick. Hold on a second. We're gonna see if we can link the everybody's Instagram again, and go and check these people out. Do it now. And let's see, Corvée.
Follow if you like cats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you head over to Instagram and let them know you like the show, you like the game. Gator, and we have Nerd Shop. There we go. There, I think everybody's there in the links. Thank you if you're still with us, and thank you to my players for tonight. This was a blast, and
It was really fun.
we will see everybody in 2 weeks to see what else they can find out about the Sunstone and to see if they can pass Brad's Pit.
Thank you. Feel bad.
See you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you.